clock. My people rang me up a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I've got people and a phone and a grasp on the passage of time. Yeah, they rang me up, said, Tim, will you go on Ruth Jones' show? They want you to sing a song. It'll be fine, fine, fine. But the problem with my particular oeuvre is that half my songs are 5 minutes and over. And the wisdom here at the BBC is that viewers switch off if you go past 3. And a lot of my songs have a bit of bad language, which causes the viewers untold anguish. It seems their tolerance for smuttiness is reserved for pussy puns on Are You Being Served? And so I need a song that only goes for 3 minutes without no bums or blasphemy in it. A lovely little song specifically written for the delicate skin of middle-class Britain. I need a song with a chorus and a verse with no nasty-ass cussing and a cussing. I'm a little too lewd and a little too long. I gotta find myself a 3-minute song. And they said, remember, boy, that music is like love-making. It's simply self-indulgent to take it past 3 minutes. Remember, boy, that music is like love-making. Everybody loves the pianist, but length must have a limit. So you need a song that only goes for 3 minutes without no pornography or politics in it. You're a little verbose and a little bit wrong. You gotta find yourself a clean, living 3-minute song. 300 beats at 100 beats a minute with nice clean jokes and a hoedown in it. Something for the telly that never ever fails to appease the viewers of BBC Wales. And even in the bridge, I won't be lyrically adventurous, intellectually unmentionous, or racially contentious, and I won't make double entendres at the expense of the Chinese. For China is a country that can bring me to my knees. For China, for China, for China, for China, for China is a country that will bring us to our knees. Ooh, Mr. Humphreys, my pussy is all wet. 2, 3, foreskin. I need a little happy clappy country song, nice and repetitive and not too long, boring enough but not too boring, with a key change here to prevent me snoring. I need a song that is only 3 minutes without no buggery or blasphemy in it, something with a pleasing rhyme and rhythm. Well, if you can't beat 'em, get conservative with 'em. To flog more tickets to my concerts by convincing the viewer that musical satire hasn't progressed since Victor Borger. You've got a telly and I wanna be in it, and apparently you'll only watch for 3 minutes. Yeah, apparently you'll only watch for 3.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are all of you beautiful, sexy people? Hopefully beautiful and sexy. Otherwise, that just made no sense. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Hopefully good. I'm doing pretty good. Feeling good. Little tired. Shout out, much love in the chat to Mr. Jacob, our editor-in-chief, who stayed up until 7 a.m. to get this Wolong review out today. So, big ups to him. He's probably not in here because I told him to go sleep. So he's doing that, but props. That's dedication. You know, that back in the day, I was the one that stayed up all night. Now I stay up till like 2 a.m. and then I sleep for 5 hours and then I get up at 7 to review the draft. So now I'm pretty much spoiled out my ass, but shout out to Jacob for that. I think, Rocky, if you're down, I'm sure he would appreciate it. Yeah. As for stuff, yeah, we're going to talk about a handful of things. We've got news about Square Enix. We've got news about, of course, Destiny 2 and Lightfall. I'll be relying a lot on your help with that because I am not familiar with Destiny 2 very much. So we're going to rely on some hit pieces and things from other YouTubers. Notice I said hit pieces because some Destiny fans apparently are either sticking to their guns and the truth, or they are in denial. I'm not sure which. We will see. I was supposed to coach you. I mean, Rocky, I need to hear your thoughts. Rocky is our resident Destiny fiend. What do you guys think? Anybody in chat? Let me know what you think of Destiny 2 Lightfall, because what I've heard is that it's pretty broken. Or not broken, it's that they made some really weird choices that a lot of people hate with a fiery burning passion. So I want to hear if that's just like the tryhards think that, you know, like where there's a ton of Warzone players who are like, oh my god, the game sucks now because there's skill-based matchmaking. Cancel the game, it's horrible. But it's like most players are still just like, whatever. Yeah, whatever. 3 out of 10. As someone who doesn't play Destiny 2, I hate it. Thank you, Blackjack. I feel like your microphone is quieter than normal. Maybe. Did I tweak any settings I'm not aware of? Hold on. I mean, everything looks normal to me. That's weird. Count Dabula, first I'm getting the opportunity to join a live stream of yours finally. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Cheers. Cheers with the Dilly Dilly Red Bull. By the way, these blueberry ones are stupid good. Stupid good. Count Dabula, by the way, I just finished playing Ghost of Tsushima a couple days ago just because of seeing your review of it. Never had heard of it before, and I effing love it, so thank you. I'm glad, my friend. I'm glad. That's a very good feeling when I can recommend something, people try it, and then they're like, yep, love it. Love it. Let's see. Rocky says it's not that great. 7 out of 10. It's glitchy as well. Oh, of course it is. Everything's glitchy nowadays. But fine on my end. You can't get blueberry ones in the UK? Oh, that blows. Because these things are fire. These are my favorite. This is my favorite flavor. The watermelon ones are pretty good too. When I worked at the bank, I would drink the big boys of these. The 16-ounce ones. Those are fire. Probably nearly had a heart attack every day, but ooh, they were good. Been a while. Yes, Rad, good to see you. Can you do a critique of The Last of Us show when it's over? Yeah, that's the plan. I think we'll do it a lot with like still images. We'll find a way to make it work, but that's the plan, is that we'll do sort of an overarching critique of the thing when it's over. We'll discuss like what changes they've made, the difference in performances, difference in direction. It should be good. I don't know if I don't think it'll be like a massive video, and I honestly am not anticipating it getting monetized, so I'm gonna shop around and see if we can find a sponsor for it, so that we at least make something from it. But oh, I forgot my water bottle upstairs. When we have intermission, we'll jump on that. I also, by the way, everybody, I have a pretty cool little announcement thing to show later in the stream, and it's partially tied, well, it's completely tied to what's in this box. And it includes one of our friends that you guys don't see a whole lot, which is Villain Trentonmirth, our little bearded dragon who's in there. I moved the camera so you can see him, but this is my bearded dragon, Vil. He's named after Villain Trentonmirth, who is the gold dragon in The Witcher, if you are familiar with the books or the Netflix show. They mention him and he's in that, but yeah, he's named after Villain Trentonmirth. He looks small in this frame. Dude, you're looking super thin. You're looking good. He's pissed. He's like, you came in here, I was sleeping, and you woke me up. Damn it. I'm sorry, Vil. Terribly sorry. Undead fish cakes. I can read, I promise. Member for 3 months. Appreciate you. Hey, haven't been able to catch a stream in a while. Hope you and everyone is doing well. I'm doing well. I went to the dentist yesterday for the first time since before COVID. I don't know. Life happened. We had a kid. I was working in Denver. Like, a lot of stuff happened, and then I just lost track of all of it. So it was good, but I mean, I forgot that the dentist, I mean, you go in there and it's just, it feels like they're ripping your teeth out slowly. I didn't have anything like wrong with my teeth. I like had a consultation for like teeth whitening stuff, and stuff like that. Like pretty straightforward. But every time you get a teeth cleaning, it's just doesn't matter who you are. If you go 3-4 years without going to the dentist, they're gonna wreck your mouth. But I can't stand when they scrape your teeth. They told me that I could bring in like headphones and I could listen to that. And I was told specifically, they said like music with like electro, like what EDM, electric or electronic dance music, whatever it is. They said like upbeat electronic music tends to pretty well cancel out the sound of the scraping and like the little bzzz thing that they do, which I had never thought of, but apparently that's the pro strat. I've never been to a dentist. Oh, Rocky. It's good. I need to go. I haven't been since COVID either. I mean, I'll be real. It feels great. It's way better. You don't realize how much like tartar and stuff you have on your teeth until they take it away. And then you're like, oh shit. Should have been in earlier. Oops. What are you gonna do? Do I have the dog? Let me see. 2 stream topics. No. I don't know if we made a doc actually. Hold on. Stream topics. 3/3/23. Here, I'll just share this with you guys. Share restricted with the link. Here, I'll just share this with you, Rocky, and Imperium. Hold on, where's Rocky? Rocky and Imperium. So you guys can toss some news stories in there if you want. Okay. So we'll touch on all that a little bit later. What else is there to cover? I don't know. We'll just kind of stumble into it. Rari, thank you for the 5. I checked out gameplay of Wolong. I'm not a fan of the gameplay style, but it isn't bad at all. I prefer games like Ninja Gaiden when it comes to it. Yeah, and I will say that I was going into it kind of braced for it to be in like Neo 3, basically. Because of those of you who are not familiar, Neo is quite difficult. I think the Neo games are harder than FromSoft games across the board. Certainly harder than Elden Ring. Elden Ring I thought was much more approachable. But this is like a beginner's FromSoft game. Basically, the only hurdle you'll have is understanding the parry system. And once you get that, you're good. The rest of the game is kind of a piece of cake. It's just going through the motions. There's a couple of bosses here and there that offer a little bit of resistance. Usually it just means you have to like tweak your weapon loadout. But in general, it's pretty open. It has a very generous parry window. And depending on the gear you use, you can widen that parry window to make it even easier. So if you're struggling with the parries, you can actually swap out enchantments to make like the sword you're using just super good at widening the parry window. It's really weird. It's super OP too. I think mainly it's just that the entire game is based around the parries. Like that's the only way that you're supposed to be dealing with it. For some reason, we're not getting audio on our stream notifications or our alerts. What if I change it to default? I think what we're going to do is I'm going to swap from Streamlabs OBS and I'm going to swap to just regular OBS. And we're just going to do that because this has been so finicky. Let's try this again. Nope, still nothing. Okay, well. Well. Yeah, I really liked Streamlabs OBS when we were on Twitch, but now that we've moved over to YouTube, it's just super inconsistent. It works sometimes, other times there's really bizarre bugs and glitches. You can't customize the output anywhere near as carefully, which is a big bummer. There's just a lot of little stuff that annoys the crap out of me. Brandon, you tried the co-op in Wolong. Is it seamless or at least better than Elden Ring co-op? Only gonna buy if me and my boy can run through it completely. I will be real. I don't know. I tried to get it working, but because I was playing before launch, I could never really get it to matchmake or pair. I didn't get a second code, so I didn't have anybody to bounce it off of and to try it with. And the public matchmaking, I did once try to matchmake for like 15 minutes and nothing happened. So what are you going to do? Yeah, Breath of the Wild 6 years ago, I think today. Feel old? Yeah. Thank you for that too, by the way. And the $4.99. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to be really on top of it when it comes to these notifications because it's not sending me audio alerts. I don't know why. Anyway, Dead Island 2 gameplay. There's Resident Evil 4 Showcase 2 about weapons and systems. Yeah, we can check that out. Black Myth Wukong looks like Wolong jacked. Yeah, it's true. I think it will be interesting, but I do have the vibe that it might be one of these Chinese games that's like really beautiful on the surface, and then you get in there and it's just not coming together. Because there's been a lot of games that I've seen trailers for, and I'm like, ooh, that looks awesome, and then I actually get like my hands on it, I'm like, oh. Well, coming off of Neo, Wolong kind of underwhelmed me. I get that. And I mean, it does, I'll be real, it feels like a step back. There's multiple levels where it feels like you're running through like a topographical map of a chicken nugget. It's really, really weird. Like, can I show gameplay footage? Come on, Mr. Server. Wolong. Where is it? There. I think it was like clip 2 maybe. No. Hold on, please hold. Please hold. Trying to find this damn clip. No, that's the first boss. Nope, this is a later boss. Do I need to just pull it up on Frame.io? I think so. Man. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Spec Ops, thank you for the 20. Yeah, come on, guys, hit the like or he's canceling stuff. Exactly, I'll cancel stuff. Insert whatever you're passionate about. I'll cancel that. For real. Thank you, Spec Ops, for the 20. Very generous. Let's see. It's somewhere in here is the clip. Oh, I have the input swapped. Hold on. Please hold, please hold. Opening the window because it's already getting super hot in here. Okay, we have this. It's like right in here. Oh, do I have playback speed? Yeah, I was like, this is way faster than I remember it being. It's because it's playing at 1.75. Can I just slow that down to normal? Thank you. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, it's not normally that crazy. And then that's past it. This whole level is just super, super ugly, though. The whole level. Like, it's actually kind of infuriating. Like, look at that texture. Look at that. Like, look at the rocks. Like, this rock is nice quality. And then all of these are horrible. It's super inconsistent. A lot of it at times feels like you're playing a 360 game that just got remastered. It just doesn't come together. Please hold Luke Stevens podcast. Oh, that would be a good name for that. Yeah. That actually could be good. Dead Island 2 is the biggest disaster. Is there Dead Island 2 stuff? Is there drama with that going on? Did I miss something? Did I miss something? What are your thoughts on the Elden Ring DLC, Luke? You excited? Oh, I'm excited, but I mean, we don't know anything about it. Let's be real. Let's be completely honest about that. We know nothing. Absolutely nothing. What is it? You said there was drama going on with Dead Island 2. I mean, there was the extended gameplay reveal. "4K quality." Okay, let's see what this is. Well, here, let me turn off. Sorry, Geralt. We gotta turn off your music. Okay, let's see this gameplay.
And just a glimpse of the wider, epic pulp adventure spanning the undead streets of LA. Our journey starts in Bel Air, just a few hours after the introduction of the game.
Okay.
Infected, but somehow immune to the zombie virus. Our immediate goal is to reach.
I'll say I don't think I've ever finished Dead Island. I have like restarted it a handful of times. I always felt like the trailers made it out to be something it wasn't. Like, it's fun, but I don't know. The stream is super quiet today for some reason. Really? Are other people also having that issue? Because I don't know why it would be doing that. All of my settings are the same. Are people saying that it's quieter? It's quiet for me? Huh. How precarious, how peculiar. Because my levels all look the same. I don't know. Hold on. I'll try. Let me There. Okay, let's try this.
Reach the authorities at the Halperin Hotel, an evac center south of here, in Beverly Hills.
Evac center this way. Halperin Hotel. Get my suite ready.
Between our roster of 6 slayers, we've selected Danny.
You fecker.
A foul-mouthed brawler from Ireland with a twisted sense of humor.
Okay, whenever game devs tell me that their characters have twisted senses of humor, I start to get worried. I'm like, oh, so they're going to be like super annoying. Okay, I got you. Maybe it'll be great. But I feel like characters that like actually have sort of twisted senses of humor just have twisted senses of humor. Like, they don't have to describe it and explain to you how twisted and weird they are. Oh my God, I'm so quirky. It's like, if you ever talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm pretty quirky, run. That person's toxic. Don't even mess with them. You're gonna die.
She's a tenacious, yet balanced character, well suited to an agile style of combat.
I was gonna ask if she's tenacious, so that's good.
Staying mobile and waiting for your moment to strike will be key to survival with this playstyle.
Hitting stuff solves everything.
Each of our slayers have different personalities, stats, and starting abilities. But thanks to our flexible skill system, you can personalize their fighting style in any way you see fit. Let's pause a second. Thanks to our revolutionary dismemberment technology called Flesh,
God.
crushing bones, slicing muscles, and melting zombies will always look bloody and feel spectacular.
Well, you know, I wasn't confident this stream would get monetized before, and now it definitely won't. Yeah, for real, dude. For real. Instant demonetization. I was told, I saw on Twitter, Carrick had his Wolong review demonetized instantly. And then after appealing it within 12 seconds, he said he got it back confirmed demonetized. Really, really weird. I don't know why his stuff got flagged. Mine, right now, knock on wood, is not demonetized. We're okay. But I also very carefully made sure that I did not tag Wolong as the game in question. And we also used my face cam a lot to try to balance it out. So hopefully it thinks that it's just one of my normal videos. But yeah, it's super, super weird. I feel bad for people like Carrot because they just make good videos, but because they're on some list within the within the algorithm, like they just can't get rid of the demonetization. It sucks.
Realistic locational damage is not only for show, but will allow players to strategically target the individual weaknesses of different deadly foes. Despite the outbreak, our world is alive and kicking with oddball survivors and crazy side quests to complete.
Well, were those stutters my video, or was that in the game?
Is alive and kicking with oddball survivors and...
That's in the game. Okay, that's not just us. So they've got some stuttering in the game currently. It's in development, to be very, very clear. But as I've said before with Callisto Protocol, the footage they tend to show us and stuff like this is like the best stuff that they had, right? Because they want to show you the best that they have. So when they're showing you carefully curated gameplay and then it has issues like that, you have to start wondering, okay, well, what are the rough sections like then? Because if this is the polished area, what are the unpolished areas, you know?
Crazy side quests to complete.
Are you still out there?
But 2 hitches
Hey, can you hear
so
me?
far, not a big deal.
Hello? Don't run away. We need to help each other.
Let's ignore this request for now and continue towards the Halperin Hotel.
I should check my map. All these streets look the same.
The road to Beverly Hills is just beyond that mansion.
Not one to pass up a shortcut.
Seems like we have enough firepower, but we should be careful nonetheless. Sometimes, it's best to choose when and when not to engage. So let's try to find some shelter.
Dude, if I was a celebrity living in Beverly Hills, I would have gone to these devs and be like, can you put me in the game as like a zombie? If I were Post Malone, I would go to them and be like, listen, here's my house. Can you put it in the game? And then I'll be like one of the mini bosses. If you go into my house, then you see an infected version of me. Could you do that? I think it'd be awesome. Imagine if you're just running through the map, you come into a mansion and you just see Posty all decrepit and terrifying. It would be awesome. Yeah, here's 200 grand. Put me in the game. Well, and you know what? They probably would even pay him. Like, why not, dude? Posty lives in Utah now. I mean, I'm sure he spends a lot of time in Los Angeles, though, right? It's the same thing like Jeffree Star and Kanye and all those guys moved to Wyoming. But let's be real. They moved there for tax purposes, and that's the only reason. Like, I'm sure they spend some time there, but most of their time, I'm sure, is spent in, like, LA and New York. And, like, I doubt that they're actually spending their day-to-day there a lot, you know?
If you feel the urge to fight, though, our world is filled with tons of exciting weapons,
Milix,
each
I'm
with their
glad.
own unique and brutal fighting style.
They broke into Franklin's mansion from GTA 5. Unironically, though, this mansion looks pretty nice. The glass staircase. It's pretty Gucci, dare I say. Pretty Gucci.
For some satisfying dismemberment, bladed weapons are always king. And thanks to our flesh system, cutting through zombies with your katana feels as smooth as slicing butter.
That's cool. For once, I'm just glad to have a game that seems to be trying to push the boundary a little bit. It feels like for the last like 5, 6, 7 years, it's just been more and more and more of the same, where every game is just a slightly tweaked version of the game before. There's very little like real risk taking or inspiration being made. It's just like, we have amazingly powerful tech nowadays. Why aren't we pushing the boundary more? Why is it that every game is like, now we can have 16 times the detail? And then you look at the game and you're like, I guess it's better. Like, why can't you have cooler systems? That's what gets me excited about something like Starfield or Star Citizen. All of the Star games, where there's actually something they're doing that's new and different. It gets me actually much more interested.
For some tactical crowd control, look no further than strong, heavy tools like a sledgehammer.
Oh God, Rocky, don't tempt me. Only $75 too.
Blunt weapons like this are perfect for crushing bones and clearing a path. Alongside a copious amount of melee weapons, guns offer a powerful addition to your arsenal, capable of slaying long-range targets and triggering deadly traps and explosions.
Real talk, are they going to let you sell this game in Australia? Like, are they actually going to let you do that? Australia, I feel bad for you guys. You guys have a really weird culture surrounding video games. But I've seen them try to ban games that I think were less gory than this. So we'll see. I will say I'm not like loving the UI. The UI feels a little weird. I also don't love these huge like all caps fonts that they put here. I don't need to know it's a walker. Like, you can just cut that. I don't need to know that. I can see it's a walker type from just looking at it. I don't need that. The level, like, I guess that's useful, but I don't know. I just don't like when you walk into a new area and it's just a wall of UI explaining all the details to you. Like, I wish they would just keep it more minimal. That health bar was so ugly in 2014 and still is now. Yeah, I'm sure you can turn it off, but the question is with all of this stuff, like the mini-maps, you can turn it off, but if the game was designed around you having it on, then you run into a problem the moment that you try to turn it off. Like in The Witcher 3, you can turn off the mini-map, but a lot of the quests, not all of them, but a lot of the quests are designed around you having a mini map to the point where like you can get by, but it's a little inconvenient. You know, it's going to be tricky. They try to help that, you know, in Cyberpunk a lot more. And there's a good chunk of The Witcher, to be fair, that you can get through. Most of the main story you can. It's the side quests where they stop giving you directions, where they're like, okay, go to the other side of the hill on the north side and underneath a peach tree, you'll find this. In the main story, they do that. In the side quests, it gets really shaky. Cyberpunk's much better about it. But with like Hogwarts Legacy, you can turn off the minimap, but the game is meant for you to have the minimap on. Like, you can technically get through it, but navigating Hogwarts Castle without the minimap, and without any UI assistance, you know, especially if you're trying not to use the like sort of tap up on the D-pad and it'll show you the way. If you're trying not to use that stuff for immersion, you're gonna get so lost. The compass is best. I think compasses are a really safe way of doing it. Not every game needs to be a try-hard game that like no UI at all. You've got to just figure it out yourself. Not every game has to do that. I like it when they are able to do that. They like, okay, look around this neighborhood and find the cross streets of Sycamore and Aloha Street and then go to the northeast corner of that. I think that really is not that big of an ask for players. So that's what I would say. Are you changing your name to Luke Skeptic Stevens? I think so, yeah. The paperwork's moving. Add a 9 articles and let me know if you need more. Okay, I'll take it.
Just be careful not to waste too many bullets while you're having fun.
Okay, back on track to get to this hotel of theirs.
Smells like me ma's boiled stew.
We found the evac checkpoint. The road
What a dark and twisted sense of humor. Oh, I'm so
to
quirky.
Beverly Hills is just up ahead.
I'm Rob Schneider.
Things are
in
about to get a lot
Zombie
rougher,
Apocalypse.
so we should upgrade our weapons and equip ourselves for the challenges ahead. With workbenches scattered all over Los Angeles, players can retrofit their tools with DIY mods and perks, creating the most obnoxiously crazy weapons. From flaming katanas to electrified daggers and exploding hammers, the possibilities are endless, and the outcome always bloody. Like most of the districts in LA,
Jesus.
there are multiple pathways we can take to reach our destination. With challenges to unlock, characters to meet, and stashes to uncover, venturing off the beaten path has its benefits. Sounds like someone's having a party. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Hello?
Let's try it. Oh, wow.
Sorry, zombie. Party's over.
Not a zombie, just...
Is it a pizza?
Hey, do you have pizza?
Of course I do. Now let us in.
Yeah. Well, if I open this door, a whole load of zombies might rush in, and I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing.
Then why have you left the gate wide open?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're having this big party, right? And some of the guys, not me, were riding on a gate, and it broke. Now, there's a whole bunch of spares in the garage, but it's like full of riffraff.
Fine. I'll give closing it a lash.
Oh, killer. I'll hit the garage button. You bounce the party crashers and fix things up. And then, dude, mi casa is your casa. Hey, Roxy, we got company. Find your jeans.
We've agreed to fix the
My kind of
Rockstar's
party
kit.
animal.
Time to go to work.
I don't know if it's her. I mean, the voice acting is not great. It's also weirdly quiet, and there's some sort of weird compression on it too. It's a little odd.
Hell yeah! Fighting music. I can jam to this.
There is some stuttering.
Time to
here,
go to work.
Hell yeah! Fighting music. I can
that.
jam to this.
but early. It's in development.
With dozens of deadly zombie types, each undead archetype you encounter presents a unique challenge with different strengths and weaknesses to overcome.
Okay. This has been fun, boys, but I should close that gate now.
I will say I'm pretty impressed with how varied the models are. Like, I don't feel like we've really seen repeated zombies. Like, we've seen archetypes repeated, of course, but I don't feel like we've seen somebody wearing the same outfits with the same look and same face. It feels like it's all pretty varied, and I love that.
Circuit breaker. This'll work.
Good morning. That's a groovy zombie right there.
To better face this zombie horde, we expanded the equipment at the player's disposal. Curveballs are a brand new, exciting addition, offering both lethal and tactical advantages. Take meat bait, for example. A nasty sack of blood and guts that can draw zombies away from you. Perfect for some gruesome distraction.
I like that. Gotta play smart. Yeah, crispy critters. Exactly.
Perfect fit.
Ricky!
So dumb.
Not now, babe, please!
Genius.
Hey, were you getting the pizza, or were you fighting zombies in the yard?
Feeding pizza to the zombies.
Oh, right.
You say pizza?
Right.
No pizza.
Sorry, man. Big evacuation party, you know. Oh, shit! We gotta get to the evac. Roxy? Roxy, hey!
We should get back on track to the evac center. From the iconic Hollywood Hills and Venice Beach to the A-lister mansions in Santa Monica and Bel Air neighborhoods, our story takes players on an epic roller coaster ride through LA's most
It's
iconic,
pretty.
vibrant landmarks. The Halperin Hotel is just down the valley. Occupied by the now undead military and ravaged by massive earthquakes and wildfires, the hotel is now a powder keg. Lucky for us, though, we've introduced a powerful set of skill cards that enhance Slayer abilities to help level the playing field.
Am I the only one that, like, I don't know, I get turned off when I see that the, like, RPG mechanics are tied to cards. And I guess Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, like, did a real number on me. Like, just now, every time I see it, I'm like, huh, no, icky, gross, stinky. I just don't want to deal with it. Like, it's not inherently bad, but skill card based abilities, I don't know, they don't get me hyped. For me, this is like a ding. This isn't a positive.
Field. What's more, players can swap and combine them, tailoring their playstyle to suit any scenario.
The Halperin Hotel. You can check out anytime you like, but
Isn't this the hotel that was in Beverly Hills Ninja, where Chris Farley stays? I think it was. Looks familiar. Great movie, by the way. I mean, it's on paper, it's a horrible movie. It's horror. I mean, it's Beverly Hills Ninja about Chris Farley being a ninja, but I mean, it's also Chris Farley as a ninja. It's very, very funny. I think it's the last movie he did before he died. I'm pretty sure. It's not bad. It's a good like veg out and just laugh at the stupidity movie. It's like an Adam Sandler movie, kind of that same vibe.
you can never leave.
That makes sense.
Quiet, isn't it?
How quirky of her to say that. Bye-bye, zombie.
We've decided to adjust Danny's build to better resist close quarter attacks and deal slow but powerful damage.
So like even here, I don't really see any repeated characters, and that's great. I love that. Props to them for that, because it's one of my most, like, my biggest pet peeves in zombie games is when you're going up against a horde and they're like 3 different people, but they're all copy and pasted across the board. So there's like 100 zombies, but they're all the same. It just takes me right out of it. But this actually looks pretty diversified. Whack.
In Dead Island 2, your environment is also another resource to exploit in your quest for survival. From car batteries to gas canisters and acid spills, chaining elemental effects like electricity, fire, and caustic acid is just another way to wreak havoc on the dead. While locked at this stage in the game, by tapping into your corrupted DNA, you'll be able to unleash deadly mutations and explosive abilities that mimic the powers of the undead. We call this Fury Mode. With the military all but gone, we need to find another way to contact the authorities.
Fury mode. It's angry and also quirky. You get all of it. Also, mods, let me know if we need slow mode. I kind of like it when chat's popping off. I'll be real. I kind of like it when it's moving quick. But I know it's harder to mod for that. So I'll be real. I kind of like that. And yeah, it's so quirky.
While scavenging for resources, we'll have to face new and unexpected zombie encounters.
And boom goes the dynamite.
What's a little fire, eh? I'm sure I can find something to put it out.
In Dead Island 2, you'll face more than simple walkers. These deadly and challenging mutations pose unique threats. Beyond the dozens of grotesque variants in LA, Apex are hyper-mutated zombies that pose terrifying challenges with unique powers and behaviors.
Wait, what's the CeeLo Green?
Zombies that pose terrifying.
We just watched that that American Dad episode with the hot tub of love, and all the music's done by CeeLo Green, the guy that did the what is the song? It's the FU song. Da 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 da. And it's CeeLo Green. He's in the game.
Challenges with unique.
I mean, I'll be real. So far, I know we're like kind of bouncing off it, and we're like poking fun at her being so quirky because she's so quirky. But all told, like this does look pretty good. Graphically, it looks really good. They're doing a great job of varying the enemies that we're seeing. Sure, there's a couple of frame hitches and halts here and there. Really not a big deal. I mean, when do they say this is coming out? Is it April? It's pretty close, but you never know. Maybe they'll figure it out by then. As for like the rest of it, I mean, I'll be real. I think that a lot of this looks pretty good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And I also just find LA, like this version of LA is probably safer than current LA. So honestly, it's probably a win-win. Might we get a review code? I don't know. I will add it to our to-do list right now so I can make sure that we're doing that. But we'll try. We will certainly try.
Powers and behaviors. And our standard zombies come in all sorts of unexpected variants. With the fire
I like
extinguished,
that.
our hotel excursion ends with Danny discovering a functioning military radio.
Breaker, can anyone hear me?
I hear you. I'm Dr. Reed.
Unaware that another sinister and quite unique encounter is waiting in the dark.
Doctor, I'll need to be putting you on hold for just a moment.
Hey, wait! I need you! You have to get here. Hello? You okay?
Our behind-the-scenes preview has come to an end, but with so much more to show you.
But that was cool. I was gonna say there's a lot of potential for cool like passive storytelling where you don't have to have like notes hidden around the level to tell stories. You could just straight up have like the characters you're showing present the challenge to you. So in the case of this, like you're in a hotel.
That another sinister and quite unique encounter is waiting in the dark.
Doctor,
And so like this is at somebody's wedding and then they got infected.
be on hold
And
for just
so
a moment.
Hey, wait! I need you! You have to get here. Hello?
you then fight an infected, crazy, powerful like bride. Like this type of thing is super cool to me. I love this, where it's just like, okay, that's a good touch. That's a good touch. I mean, how often do you get to fight in a zombie game like an infected bride? Like that's kind of fun. It's different. Bridezilla for real, literally. What do you think the odds are that they title her enemy type Bridezilla? I bet they do. That's a layup. That's too easy.
Our behind-the-scenes preview has come to an end, but with so much more to show you in the coming months, we hope you enjoyed this small snippet of Dead Island 2.
I mean, it looks good. I'm not in love with it being cross-generational, but I also get that this is, I mean, not every game can be. a lot of stuff's been delayed. And this game's been delayed a lot. So I think they mainly built this for the last gen, and it's just been pushed back. So it is what it is. WTF is Alexa game control? I have no idea. Alexa game control. I have no idea. Epic exclusive. I mean, yeah, I guess if people care. I've never really understood the frustration with that. I'm like, I'll be real. I just don't get it. I really don't think Epic is that bad. Maybe that's scandalous of me to say. And having multiple launchers, I don't consider to be like such a horrible inconvenience that it's offensive, you know. By the way, Ron, thank you for becoming a member. And Rari, thank you for the 5. I noticed in your critiques you talk about textures, game design, and more. Do you have any experience in those fields? Check out Lost Soul aside, by the way. Hold on, let me put that in a different tab so I can remember to look that up. Just a second. Lost Soul. Okay. I have that pulled up. As for textures, game design, like I've done my fair share of reading books, lots of interviews on that type of thing. I've never worked in the industry directly, and I don't really, you know, I don't think I present myself as having done that. My perspective is always from the point of view of a consumer, of somebody who likes these games and enjoys playing them. I'm not talking to you, Miss Apple Watch. So my approach to critiques is usually like just from the point of view of a layman. Like I could come at it and be like, well, you know, I read this book of game design and it said that they should do this. So clearly I know more or better than the game devs. And I don't with regards to the game design. What I know is the effect it has on me, the player. So if like the dodge, the thing we talked about in Wolong today, the fact that the dodge and parry button are routed to the same button will cause a lot of confusion and frustration unnecessarily to players. So I can critique the game for that, right? So the way that I always try to approach it is from the point of view of how it affects the player. And I feel like I can argue those points a little more level-headedly. But yeah, Luke was the lead developer in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
The fact that the music picks up to right as he's
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh man, it's so good. I was gonna get Final Fantasy 16, but it's too flashy for me. Thank you for the 2, right? Really, it's too flashy. I mean, I thought that's kind of the point of these recent Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy, like 15 was super flashy. Square Enix games have always been like super particle effect crazy. Like they've always loved it. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen the new gameplay.
Not for too long, I hope.
I remember being awestruck as a teenager by the way Shadow of the Colossus dwarfed my protagonist with its titanic creatures. That feeling of man versus mountain generated by the PS2 classic is something I've rarely experienced since. But at a recent hands-on event for Final Fantasy 16, it happened again. I felt that awe, that sense of colossal scale. But this time, rather than being a poetically beautiful battle, it was an explosive homage to anime warfare.
Weeb. Is weeb derogatory? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. I just find it really funny.
The 2-hour demo was, according to developer Square Enix, a special version made for media to experience, and contents may differ from the final version. Pulled from around 5 hours into the story, the combat-focused segment contained a trio of boss battles that showcased Final Fantasy XVI's ambitious approach to scale. The first of these, a showdown with a spy named Benedicta, was a traditional human versus human clash that embraced the dexterity of this entry's new real-time action combat. But it was the other 2, much grander fights that really caught my attention. Final Fantasy XVI sees a number of kingdoms caught up in a war over magical crystals. Key to this war are icons, colossal monsters that, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you may know better as summons. In most previous games in the series, these deity-like creatures were effectively elaborate magic attacks, but in Final Fantasy XVI, they are vital components of the plot and act as major boss battles across protagonist Clive's journey. One such icon is Garuda, a 20-meter tall bird-like creature summoned by Benedicta that wields the power of wind. As I dodged and weaved around Garuda's legs and wings, deflecting blows that would kill a normal man, the battle called to mind scenes from kaiju movies and anime like Attack on Titan. After dealing enough damage to stun her, I could fire a magical grappling hook into her jaw and yank her head down to the ground, opening her face up for a chain of hugely damaging attacks. There's something inherently exciting about fights this large, and Final Fantasy XVI seems to be fully committed to going as big as it possibly can. That's not to say the game's strengths are only in these gigantic boss fights though. Much of the demo saw me storming through a castle while cutting down a whole garrison of swordsmen in the grittiest combat of Final Fantasy's 36-year history. Clive strikes with fury, impaling and even stomping on enemies that have fallen to the ground. That's not to say all the fantasy has been drawn out of Final Fantasy though, far from it. Magical abilities frequently coat the screen with vibrant particle effects. It's all a bit overwhelming at first, and the arcade-like UI that constantly spits out damage numbers is an ugly contrast against the world's otherwise handsome art. But as I settled into the systems, I found the blend of action and tactical abilities rewarding. It particularly came alive in the rapidly paced battle against Benedicta, who pushed me to make use of all of my many skills.
Men of your talents are rare indeed.
Clive is a nimble fighter, and each swing of his sword reminds you that Final Fantasy XVI's combat director is Ryoto Suzuki, best known for his work on Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma. Fights feel fast, layered, and incredibly flashy. The core fundamentals are pulled from Japanese action classics: dodges, parries, uppercuts, and combo attacks. But built atop this is a magic system that sees you channel the power of different icons to unleash powerful special attacks. I had access to the power of 3 icons: the Fiery Phoenix, the Winds of Garuda, and the earth-shattering magic of Titan. Only one icon's abilities can be channeled at a time, but a quick press of the left trigger cycles through each summon on the fly. You could fire a blast of Phoenix Flames, for instance, before quickly swapping to Garuda to launch your target into the air with a hurricane-like spin, and finally switch to Titan to finish them off with a charged power attack that strikes downwards with stone fists. Each icon ability has its own cooldown, so hot swapping between them mid-fight and managing their wait times provides a light tactical edge to each clash. I'm interested to discover what tactics will be unlocked as Clive gains the power of even more icons, and I hope they feel as distinct as the 3 I've used so far. If you're accustomed to Final Fantasy's more relaxed days of picking attacks from a menu and find all of this somewhat intimidating, you may find solace in Square's novel approach to accessibility. Rather than difficulty options, there's a collection of 5 rings that bestow combat easing effects. The Ring of Timely Evasion, for instance, will make Clive automatically dodge most incoming attacks, while the Ring of Timely Strikes will perform elaborate combos with just one tap of the attack button. There are utility-focused rings too, including one that issues commands to Clive's dog, Torgal, who can provide attack and healing assistance. With the combat already sufficiently layered, I can imagine even skilled players may also opt to skip the pet micromanagement. These rings will hopefully mean fans of varying skill levels will all be able to enjoy Final Fantasy XVI's clashes.
I mean, so the most common thing people get frustrated with these games, as far as I can tell, is like the UI, because it's very different. It's like heavy on the numbers. They, as I've said before, Square Enix tends to lean into what I call particle effect fetishism, where it's just particle effects on the screen everywhere because that's cool. And that's the, like, that in and of itself is a design choice. And you either love it, you like it, or it's kind of a turn off, or you just don't care. For me, I'd say it's don't care leaning towards I don't like it, so it's kind of in the middle. Don't worry, Rari, I'll get to it in just a second after I get through this thought. So for some people, like, it can be a full turn off though. What I would say to those types though is I think you should not dismiss the game just because of that. Sometimes you can turn it off. I don't know if they'll let you turn off damage numbers in this, because I know sometimes they're pretty committed to it. But there's ways you can tweak it. If you're playing on PC, I'm sure you can mod it. The core game is still phenomenal, even if you don't like the way that it's necessarily presented. So I would encourage you not to like write off the game just because of that. But I get what you mean. I get what you're seeing, where it just comes off as like, arcadey is probably the best word. Too video gamey, especially because the rest of the art style is very, very like mellow and tame, and not tame, subdued, maybe more realistic and grounded. And then you see this very arcadey presentation of the damage numbers, so it feels like a weird contrast. So I get why it feels like it doesn't jive super well. So hopefully you can tweak it, but the core game is still probably going to be pretty solid. I don't mind the damage numbers, but the particle effect overload is too much. I will say, even in like Wolong, there's parts where like the particle effects get so crazy you can't tell when an opponent is coming in for like an unblockable attack because it's represented by a red circle. But there are certain enemies that emit like red particle effects when they're dealing or taking damage. So if you don't do it right, or if you are in a darker area, then that overshadows the red circle, so you don't know when they're attacking because the particle effects are so bad. There's little stuff like that, so it takes a delicate balance to make sure it doesn't affect the game too poorly. Rari, thank you for the 5. Objectively, this game looks phenomenal and smooth. The combat looks very engaging. Subjectively, for me though, it's a bit flashy, but it's not the game's fault. Yeah, and I think that that's probably where most people will land. I would personally expect this game though, just based on what I'm seeing, I'm guessing this is going to review very well, assuming they can fix graphical or the performance issues. I hope that they can polish. June 22nd. I mean, I'd guess this is received pretty well. That's my expectation. GC, Wolong looks amazing, but as a PC guy, it's a shame that the mouse is a bad joystick emulator. Yeah, it's definitely a controller game, for sure. For sure. And Grady, thank you for becoming a member as well. Appreciate you.
Which are made all the more dramatic by the way your attacks can seamlessly blend into cinematics that showcase a particularly cool strike or evade. These moments are coupled to a button prompt, and while I'm generally averse to QTEs in combat, Square Enix seems to have made it work. The slick presentation made each of the boss battles feel like momentous fights, rather than interrupted melees. The overall sense is that Final Fantasy XVI will let us be directly involved in the outrageous anime-like battles typically reserved for cutscenes. That's never more true than in what is likely to become Final Fantasy XVI's flagship battle mode, Icon versus Icon. When Clive summons an Icon, you're put in direct control of them, and each of these explosive clashes between gods are promised to be a unique experience with bespoke mechanics. The third boss of the demo, a beatdown between Garuda and the fire demon Ifrit, was something akin to a nuclear-powered wrestling match. Compared to Clive, Ifrit is a very simple fighter, with just a scant few brawling abilities. But this brawl makes full use of that blending between cutscene and gameplay to convey Ifrit's immense heft and strength. Each time I'd land a blow on Garuda, a new animation would trigger, my favourite of which was dragging my foe face first across a rocky landscape. It was a shallower combat experience compared to controlling Clive in the clashes with Benedicta and Garuda, but I can forgive that if the spectacle proves this wild each and every time. Playing 3 very different boss fights, as well as carving my way through dozens of regular soldiers, has left me with a lot of hope for Final Fantasy XVI. But this demo was purely combat focused, meaning I've yet to see much of its RPG credentials. This demo's generic medieval castle setting barely had any exploration opportunities, feeling mostly like a stone-walled route towards the next boss. But as previously mentioned, the contents of this demo may differ from the final version, and so I hope when more is revealed, we'll discover it has environments that are much more compelling to explore. Because should the story, exploration, and characters live up to what I've seen of the combat so far, then Final Fantasy XVI will be a JRPG worth being excited about.
Control it, Clive!
For more looks at upcoming games, check out our previews of Crime Boss Rock.
Interesting. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, goodness. By the way, I did see that message, Rocky. I think that can work. What I'll do is I'll schedule a mod meeting for stream mods, see if we can all meet up and talk about plans. I want to sit down with Jacob as well because he's heading up content for the live channel, and so we'll try to coordinate together what works best. Pretty much the bread and butter of the live channel right now are these longer, like 30-minute segments on a single topic. Those do significantly well, or better than like smaller news stories. If we do a larger weekly news show, that could work. But my fear is, like, if news drops on Monday about something and we don't cover it until Friday, excuse me, kick in for me, then it'll be outdated by then. But I mean, then again, SkillUp hasn't had any issues doing that, so it might work totally fine. Louvre, member for 5 months. Look at that. That's sexy. Another month, another dumb question. What's your favorite shape? I'm going to reference something. The triangle, because it can hold and contain all other shapes. It's true. Think of a shape. It can fit inside of a triangle. It's true. Or was it the pyramid? Is that what he said? Was it the pyramid? The pyramid can hold all other shapes. Pyramid. I'm trying to find the quote, the clip of it. I don't know. It's not popping up. You're telling me nobody's highlighted that clip? Nobody has just that clip? I think he said pyramid. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, sorry. From The Office, yeah. Oh, man. Can't find it. Rhombus for the win. No, it's always pyramids, yeah. It's always the pyramid. The pyramid is the best shape because it can contain all other shapes. What is the best color? Black, because it absorbs all colors. No, it's white because it contains all colors. And then black says no, black because it's the most dominant. That's what it is. Man, I'm off. I'm getting sloppy, man. Oh. What if the pyramid was on its side? It would still be a pyramid because pyramids are great. Do you guys remember the crime boss game that looked like the GTA ripoff? Do you guys remember that? Well, apparently, IGN got hands-on time with it. Actually got to try it and was not super impressed. Let's see what they saw, because I mean, when I saw this, yeah, it looks like a GTA ripoff, but when we found out about gameplay, the gameplay news was that this was going to be more like Payday and it wasn't going to be like GTA, even though they heavily implied it was going to be GTA, even using similar art styles and all sorts of stuff. So this is one to be very skeptical of because it's just weird. They have a pretty star-studded cast. They've got some big-name actors involved with this, so they seem to be spending a lot of money there. And by big-name actors, I would say that it's like, you know, second and third tier plot members from Guardians of the Galaxy, and like you'll probably recognize some of these people and be like, I know them from somewhere. But that's it. It's not going to be like Tom Cruise, you know, stuff like that. It's not going to be like that. Let's see what they said though.
So you want to be a criminal, do you?
No.
Game on!
Crime Boss Rocky City was one of the bigger surprises to come out of the Game Awards last year. A brand new video game property from a relatively unknown studio featuring a star-studded cast of relatively well-known actors with a hard release date just a few months away, no less. The slick, colorful reveal trailer definitely turned some heads, but it also raised a few eyebrows because it focused more on who is in the game rather than what you actually do in it. Yeah. After an hour and a half of hands-on time with Crime Boss, I now have a much clearer idea of what it actually is, but I also came away even more skeptical that it can actually achieve what it's setting out to do. Crime Boss is fundamentally a first-person shooter, but it aspires to be an organized crime game, meaning that stealth, strategy, and careful preparation will likely yield more favorable results than going in guns blazing. The obvious comparison to make is to Payday, the co-op bank heist series, but my time with it felt much more like Left 4 Dead. 3 modes will be included at launch. There's Baker's Battle, the single-player campaign where players take control of Michael Madsen's character Travis Baker and help him become the titular crime boss of the eponymous Rockay City. There's also Crime Time, which consists of quick heists that can be played alone or cooperatively. Those will earn you quick cash to unlock new crew members, gear, or contracts. The mode that I previewed, Urban Legends, is kind of the happy medium of the two. Much like Left 4 Dead, these 6 mini-campaigns consist of several unique missions interspersed with cutscenes to tell a loose story. Up to 4 players can play cooperatively, with bots available to pick up the slack. Unlike Left 4 Dead's lean arcade-like roster, Rockay City has players picking their character from a sizable rogues gallery of royalty-free goons, henchmen, crooks, ne'er-do-wells, rogues, and so on. In other modes, these crew members have to be unlocked with money earned on previous jobs, but in Urban Legends, each job has a specific set of characters to choose from. The diverse group of characters is fun aesthetically, but the variety might be to the gameplay's detriment. Each character has a list of distinct traits that presumably have some impact on gameplay. For example, Booth is resilient and trained, whereas Big Joey is vigorous, but also deficient. Meanwhile, Mr. X is devoted...
Yeah, what the hell does that mean? I was gonna take Dave on this mission, but he's not devoted. Thankfully he's not tearful. What on earth does any of this mean? Like what?
Valiant, rock solid, trained, and stout, but he's also tearful and a bleeder. Did you get all of that? Okay, now imagine that you're parsing all that information while your 3 squad mates are waiting for you to ready up so you can just go steal some cocaine already. Each character also has a loadout consisting of 2 weapons and a special item. There's something extremely funny to me about a cold-blooded hitman rolling up to a job in his black sharkskin suit, strapped with a Steyr AUG and a gold-plated Desert Eagle, but also 8, count 'em, 8, small rocks which he can throw as distractions. Did he bring the rocks from home, or did he like pick them up in the...
You're driving to the bank heist. You've got your shotgun, you got your Desert Eagle in your pocket. You're like, okay, let's... Damn it, I forgot the rocks. We're screwed, dude. Oh, no.
Parking lot? Anyway, other characters seem woefully underprepared, only packing a sidearm and a melee weapon.
And only 3 rocks.
A knife to a gunfight, or maybe a bat? Up to you. After all that emphasis on this being a game about stealth and strategy and not going in guns blazing, the first mission that we played had us shooting up a rival gang's party to send a message to its ringleader, played by Vanilla Ice. It's possible this mission could have been handled stealthily with lethal precision, but that wasn't really the case of our squad of 3 first-time players and a PR guy who'd probably played this mission 20 times that very day. It devolved into a hectic firefight in a matter of seconds. I'm not sure if the guns I picked were underpowered or if the enemies were just bullet sponges, but it felt like I had to unload almost an entire clip into a low-level goon to put him down. We eventually went up against a higher-ranking member of the gang who had the beefy health bar of a boss but behaved just like a regular enemy, so it was a little bit comical and kind of mean to see 4 of us pumping bullets into him while he crouched in a corner behind a desk. A few missions later, I picked a shotgun loadout, which was able to one-shot most enemies, including some of the more heavily armored ones, so I'm inclined to think that maybe there are some balancing issues. That, or Vanilla Ice's henchmen, are high on that PCP. Unsurprisingly, Crime Boss has some Grand Theft Auto DNA, including a star-based wanted level. Doing enough crime stuff will attract the attention of the Rockay City police force, and since doing crime is the main objective, they make regular appearances. After killing the rival gang's senior bullet sponge,
I don't know if it's just him playing it, but there's something weird with the controls. Like, I don't know, it looks super floaty to me.
Cops arrived, and our final objective was to make it to the getaway van. A couple of us got down while fumbling to get into the van, but it was still considered a successful mission, so we moved on to the next one, even though 2 of us were dead. And this was kind of the running theme of my time playing. Comical ineptitude from a squad of first-time players, somehow resulting in a win state, and then repeat. If insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, I'm not sure what you call failing at something once, classifying it as a success, and moving on having learned nothing from your mistakes. We restarted 2 missions because the game crashed, and replayed the last one because we actually failed it completely, by which I mean I grossly underestimated the volatility and blast radius of a gas can before shooting it and killing my entire squad. But the point is, for a game that supposedly has multiple approaches to each mission, I only really got to see each of them once. Other missions had more varied objectives and seemed to have a wider margin of opportunity to take different approaches. Several of them had us entering restricted areas to steal drugs, and in some cases the optional objective was to remain undetected the whole time. So it's possible to do some careful recon, take out some enemies silently, and then get out with minimal fuss, but it takes more practice than I was able to get during this hour-and-a-half long preview event. It also doesn't help that all enemies are immediately on high alert the second that one of them spots you. A few missions are actually designed to go sideways. On the character select screen, one mission had the suspiciously simple objective of completing a drug deal. But the drug deal, of course, goes bad no matter what the players do, and the mission is basically run and gun from the start. In several missions, the getaway van blows up the second you reach it, and you're instructed to find another exfiltration point while being shot at by police helicopters and rival gang members. What's funny is that the same van gets reused, and seeing your van in one piece after it blew up in your face is a huge relief, but then it gets blown up again, which is just heartbreaking. That van was days away from retirement. Based on the marketing alone, there's an argument to be made that the gameplay of crime boss Rockay City isn't exactly its main selling point so much as its cast is. Michael Madsen, Michael Rooker, Danny Glover, Danny Trejo, Kim Basinger, Chuck Norris, and Rob Vanilla Ice Van Winkle might not be A-listers these
Rob Van Winkle.
days, but they're definitely household names. Crime Boss by no means takes itself too seriously, and it's clearly an homage to over-the-top action movies of the 80s and 90s. However, in Urban Legends, the cutscenes are so detached from the gameplay that it feels less like renting one action movie from Blockbuster and more like flipping between two movies that are airing simultaneously on different cable networks sometime in the mid-90s. Sadly, the way the celebrity cast feels most closely connected to the game is they also sound like their main objective is to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time and get the f*** out of there.
Let's end it here today.
This is some of the worst voice acting I've heard in a game in recent memory. Chuck Norris literally sounds like he's reading his lines out loud for the first time, not particularly sure of or remotely interested in his motivation. After losing, Norris will kneel over your corpse and ponder,
"Why did I beat you this time?"
with the same energy as David Lynch reading a weather report.
That's really bad.
61 degrees Fahrenheit, around 16 Celsius.
Basinger, Glover, and Rooker's characters have a similar air of bewilderment, but are at least trying. Rooker's character regularly bursts into maniacal laughter mid-statement, which just makes it sound like he really just read these lines for the first time, but is also genuinely cracking up at the idea of calling somebody a butthole gerbil. Vanilla Ice's character speaks in rhyme.
Sorry, that's not funny. I'm mature. I'm an adult. I can't. A butthole gerbil. I'm gonna use that.
But with the cadence of somebody talking normally, kind of like Roadblock for the original G.I. Joe cartoon.
Duke and Snake Eyes, just you wait. We're gonna chop Cobra up for bait.
The notable exception is Damien Poitier, who plays Michael Madsen's character's right-hand man, and who will be the voice in your ear for much of Crime Boss. His biggest claims to fame as an actor are playing Thanos in the post-credit scene for the first Avengers movie and Chains in Payday 2, but apparently he also had some hand in writing Crime Boss. The jury's still out on how the main campaign actually plays out, but if he had any hand in making Michael Rooker say the words butthole gerbil, we are all deeply in his debt.
Alright, enough grab ass.
After reflecting on everything I just said, I realize how much campy B-movie charm Crime Boss Rockay City has.
Yeah, exactly. Chuck Norris's motivation. Yeah, Chuck Norris motivates motivation itself. Okay, you don't talk to Chuck Norris about motivation. He is the motivation.
How much potential it has to be a very stupid good time, and I really want to love it. Unfortunately, the wacky over-the-top presentation seems completely at odds with its gameplay systems, which appear to be playing it a bit more straight and potentially biting off more than they can chew. Ultimately, the imperfections that make a bad action movie a cult classic aren't always as charming when you have to be a part of that action. Obviously, take all this with a grain of salt, as it's based on a vertical slice of one mode of a pre-release build of a budget-priced game, but also bear in mind that that game is out in a month. Anyway, for everything in the world of video games, Vanilla Ice, and
I'll be real, I totally forgot about this. I like totally spaced this was still a thing. But I mean, I think it says a lot that they're not showing a lot of clips of like Chuck Norris talking, and it's probably because they know that the performance is not great.
Be a criminal, do ya? Game on!
Starring yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot that like this is the section of the frame they use for gameplay, and then this is all unrelated. It's probably gonna get 6s and 7s. I would guess it's more towards 6 than 7. But again, this is something I mentioned in the Wolong review. There is a place for okay and good games. It's purely a matter of value proposition. Like even bad games, I think, can be fun and maybe even worth it. At a set price. Like if I can get Anthem for $1, I'll give it a shot. Even if I only get an hour of interesting time with the game before I give up on it, still an hour for $1 of entertainment. It's much better than you get at the movies, I'll tell you what. And like Wolong I don't think is bad. I just think it's like good. It's not great, it's good. So if it fits in the 8 out of 10 range, and let's say this fits in at say 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, yeah, it's a D, but at the right price, even a D passes. So it just depends on where the standard is. And the standard is determined by the price. That's why Game Pass, like a game like this on Game Pass would be perfect. I don't know. Is it coming to Game Pass? That would be PC. No, it doesn't look like it. PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. Top comment is, this going to be one of those games where they spent all the budget on the cast and $10 on everything else. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try it when it comes out. We'll give it a shot. I would say that this game in general is very much a question mark. Not super sold on it. Discounted already? I feel like 6 out of 10 is a C. I mean, technically 7 out of 10 is a C because that's 70%. So a C. 60% is a D. 59 and under is, out of 100 is an F. It's like under an F. Like the thing with games though is even at like a 5 out of 10 could in theory be worth it at a set price. Like a bad game like Ride to Hell Retribution for 50 cents, I would probably get 50 cents of enjoyment out of just how broken and horrible it is. So for $50 or 50 cents, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. It's tricky, but like for other people, they're going to be like, hell no. I prefer 5 is the average on the scale. Yeah, I think it just gets confusing because a lot of people think of like 10 being amazing, 8 is like good, 7's okay. So, like, excuse me, this Red Bull is just not doing it for me today. But if that like comes and kicks in, and people start rating like okay games 5s out of 10, like the internet will melt. And the fact that most of like Metacritic and everything is based off of basically the letter grade scale, I don't think it would work to just swap it out. I don't think so. Let's talk about Destiny 2 because I have no idea what's going on with it. I've heard people are generally pretty disappointed. And so let's talk about that. From Gaming Bolt, a little brief
Destiny
breakdown.
2 Lightfall released a few days ago, and any Destiny fan who hates this game so much that it's their favorite game knows this was a momentous occasion. It's new content, including a new destination and campaign, new characters, a brand new element with 3 subclasses, new activities, and new loot. On top of that is the...
I'll be real, I don't really know what any of this means, mainly just because I've never really been into Destiny. I was waiting to maybe give Destiny 2 a shot once Lightfall came out because everybody was saying, oh, that'll be a good time to start if you're going to get into it. Don't do it like 2 weeks before the big expansion. Wait till the expansion. So I was waiting, and then this thing dropped, and everybody who knows anything about Destiny is like, oh, this sucks. So I'm from the outside looking in, and I'm just like, what's going on? What's happening? And I really don't know.
The fact that it's coming after The Witch Queen, one of the most acclaimed Destiny expansions of all time. Along with including a legendary campaign like The Witch Queen, Lightfall is handled by the same campaign lead. Of course, it also didn't hurt that Season of the Seraph, which directly led into Lightfall, was well received with strong writing for characters like Rasputin, Anna Bray, Osiris, and many more. It ended on a cliffhanger that the Witness, the long-standing enemy of the Traveler, had finally arrived in the Guardian's solar system with the Black Fleet, and there was nowhere left to run. If all of that wasn't enough, Lightfall was the penultimate expansion in the Light and Darkness saga. with the next one, The Final Shape, promising the conclusion. Suffice it to say, expectations were huge, and the hype was palpable. When Lightfall was released, Destiny 2 broke its all-time peak concurrent player record on Steam with over 316,000 players. Such was the rush that players were initially placed in a queue due to the heavy load on servers. It doesn't get any bigger than this. Cut to 2 days later.
Oh, but it does, my friend. It does. This guy, I know I talk kind of slowly. I had somebody come in. By the way, we did that breakdown of like the Hogwarts Legacy, whatever glitch thing we did. There was a comment on that where somebody said, oh my God, this guy talks so quickly. I had to click off after 5 minutes. Like, I don't think in my life I've had people tell me that I talk too quickly. What? The common complaint on the YouTube channel is that I talk too slow. So people watch on like 1.5 speed. Which, whatever, I'm glad YouTube has that tool. More power to you. I don't care. But I've never had somebody come along and be like, oh, he talks so fast. I've got to click off. It was weird to me. But this guy talks very slow.
Down from positive to mostly negative. Out of 2,597 users, only 29% are positive. Even the Destiny subreddit, which has over 2.7 million members, is full of overwhelming criticism against the expansion. What exactly happened? And where did things go wrong for Bungie?
Am I the only one that's like kind of bugged by how like long of pauses he's taking in between phrases? Like, listen to it. He finishes the sentence and then he just kind of sits there for a second.
Criticism against the expansion. What
is that not like a really uncomfortably long amount of time to just not say anything? I don't know, man. Like, that feels, it's like the third or fourth time that that's happened in this video. I'm kind of thrown off. It's weirding me out. It's like, ah, yes, this game, it's got a lot of people polarized. The combat is really solid. It's just like, I don't know. Or it's like, you know what? This sometimes happens where like, if I have like a really bubbly drink or I have like a soda or something like that on stream, and like, you know, you get kind of the bubbles in your belly. And so you start kind of burping under your breath. It's one of those things where you're like talking and then you come back to the conversation. It's like that. Maybe he just is like burping up a storm while doing this. I don't know. But that's what it seems like, because it's just so exaggerated.
Overwhelming criticism against the expansion.
And by the way,
what exactly happened?
See, I have it
where did things go wrong for
turned
Bungie?
all the way up. He's just talking super
One of
quiet.
the most anticipated releases suddenly result in an overwhelming backlash by its most loyal fan base, like it's year one all over again. We won't go into spoilers.
The pauses are crazy.
Has been heavily criticized. It started well enough, but traveling to Neomuna, the new destination on Neptune, and meeting the Cloud Striders caused the cracks to appear. Rallying to the latter's cause to stop Callus and his Shadow Legion, many found Nimbus to be insufferable as a character. Many of his lines were dubbed Marvel-esque humor, of the worst kind, and the treatment of characters like Osiris wasn't well received either.
Can I just say, I'm so proud of us right now, okay? I love this. That now, being like Marvel is considered like a diss. I love it. I think it's great. Because for a decade, everybody is like sucking up to Marvel. Oh, yeah, no, it's got writing akin to in like Age of Ultron or something. I don't know if people said that, but it's like everybody was talking about how great Marvel was at everything. And I'm over here like, I don't know, man. I find it kind of cringe a lot of the time. I'm just going to be real. And then now people toss out being Marvel-esque in their writing as a bad thing. I kind of appreciate it, because what happened with Marvel, and the reason people say this, to be clear, is because, or what happened is that Marvel, especially towards the end of, what is it, phase 2? Is that what they called it? Or phase 1, maybe? I have no idea. But basically towards the end of like Infinity War and all of that, they started leaning into this Taika Waititi form of comedy and the James Gunn style of comedy once they saw that Guardians of the Galaxy was really, really successful, where everything is super lighthearted. Nobody takes anything really seriously. It's really goofy, and they go and they play for that contrast of things that like don't really fit together. So you have a really serious story beat that's broken up by something just stupid and ridiculous happening. And initially that doesn't seem that bad, but in practice it doesn't apply evenly, especially when you have like a pretty serious thing going on and you break it up with comedy at the wrong moment. It leaves a bad taste in the audience's mouth. That's what like Thor Love and Thunder, my biggest problem with that was that like children have been abducted by the God Slayer. And then you cut to Thor, like sitting on the boat, like pretending to have a romantic relationship with an axe and a hammer, being caught between the two. And like by itself, the joke is kind of funny. Yeah, Thor's got this like really close relationship with his hammer and his axe, and oh, it's like they're fighting over each other. It's the awkward thing with like exes. So it's just funny. It's like high school, so it's funny because it's weird. But like this is in the context of a bunch of children being abducted by the God Slayer, and we're just not gonna. It just doesn't sit right. It doesn't feel appropriate. It just doesn't work. And I don't like it. I'll be real. I don't like it. So I'm glad to hear that now other people are also coming around and being like, there are times when it works and there are times when it doesn't work. And the fact that every game nowadays is trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, it drives me crazy. So I'm glad to see that this is coming around.
Granted, Year 1 had characters like Cade 6 and Failsafe that were too over the top for many people's tastes. But Destiny 2 had moved away from that through the years, with plot points more fitting in tone with the inevitable arrival of the Witness and the potential end of everything. To see it suddenly return.
What is with these pauses, dude? I don't know if I can get through this. We might have to do a different video. On 1.5 speed, the pause is that long.
Plot points more fitting in tone with the inevitable arrival of the Witness and the potential end of everything.
1,
to see it suddenly return.
2 full seconds of just nothing. I don't know, man. I don't think this is his fault. It's the editor's fault. Is nobody going to mention this? Really? Nobody's touching this? I don't know, man. This is more the editor's fault. It's like they're just putting an extra big space in between these pieces. And this guy, Aztec Cross, apparently is like a big Destiny creator, and I want to hear what he thinks of this because he plays the crap out of this game. He knows it backwards and forwards. So let's see what he thinks of this expansion.
Okay. Let me just stop right here.
Move my face.
Let me stop right here. I'm gonna take a moment to discuss real quick. I'm not a writer, by the way, but pacing is extremely important. The pacing was all over the place here. The way this game and narrative and this campaign should have started was us actively fighting, maybe in a ship battle scene, between the Witness. Not only do we see the destruction, we're in the destruction. We're living the destruction. You know? Wouldn't it be cool if it was a mission that opens up, we're right next to Amanda Holiday, we're fighting, we're shooting down ships, you know what I mean? We're popping Cabal ships or Shadow Legion ships down. And then suddenly, big bad pyramid, you know, to actually fly up next to a pyramid ship and see them, how large they are, how daunting they are. And then see so many of them, if that would even be possible. And I say possible because it seems like, even though we had things like that back in Halo Reach, that seems to be an impossible thing to add here in Destiny. That way, whenever the destruction occurs and the Witness comes in and does what he does.
I have no freaking idea what he's talking about. I'm going to be real. Okay. You know what? We're 0 for 2 now. Is there not a way that somebody can just break this down where it makes like quick sense? Like, what are we doing? Destiny 2. Just Lightfall review. Just a Lightfall review. That's all I need. Like, help me. Help me help you. Let's see, this one maybe?
The number one question on everyone's mind. Datto, is Heart of Inmost Light still any good after the nerfs? And the answer is yes. Hoyle is still a good exotic. I think it's quite good with Titan Strand at the moment because you get multiple melee charges to boost your other 2 abilities quite often, which is really helpful considering the reduction in uptime post-nerf. However, Hoyle is no longer an exotic where you can just turn your brain off and spam abilities non-stop.
Okay, I'm for the love of God, I don't... Guys! Destiny 2 Lightfall. I don't even know what to search because none of these videos are useful. It's all just like gibberish or... And then what if we were on the ship? And then there was a big guy in the distance. By the way, he's eating while he's doing. And then there was like a big monster that looked really cool because Halo had that kind of thing and we don't have that in Destiny. Like, what is happening? Dudes. I get it, dude. I make overtly long, ridiculously bloviated content. I understand it. But I'm not talking to you. But man, oh man. It feels like every single one of these videos is just the laziest of the lazy of just like, okay, we're gonna just talk about this. We're gonna oh, and then extended pause. Just, man, they make it hard. They make it hard, dude. Okay, I'm gonna try this one Phil sent. Let's try this. Okay. Then the link breaks because we're on YouTube, and that's just how YouTube is now. Okay, let's try this one. Game Ranks. Okay, Game Ranks is always good. Jake and his team do great work.
Hey, and we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. And today, we're taking a quick look at Destiny 2 Lightfall. It's out, and it's a big deal. A lot of people still play Destiny, and this is a big update. This is the technically 7th expansion in Destiny 2, Bungie's long-running, endless first-person shooter. It's come a long way from releasing in 2017 under Activision, where it seemed fun, if a little half-baked at launch, but people stuck with it, and Bungie stuck with it, and it only got better and better. From a weird Activision games as a service type game to a fully independent Bungie project that found its own identity and community and got tons of content, to it now having better account progression and ways to play on more platforms, including next gen. Destiny 2 seems like it's been through a hell of a lot, and it's come out the other side way better. You might not be a Destiny person, and we will admit here at Game Ranks, all of
Destiny people, unite! You're not one of those people, are you? What do you mean, those people? A Destiny people. Ew, gross. We don't take kindly to your kind over here.
of us fell off a long time ago at different
it's okay, I'm entertaining myself. Hopefully you're getting something out of this stream, otherwise I'm just going off, man.
Points. So full disclosure, if you're a hardcore Destiny person, do not watch this video or you will be mad. I'm sorry. You're already playing it anyway, so just consider this an overview for other interested parties. Just a bit of a peek at what's new and some first impressions and some gameplay, you know?
And I appreciate this. Like, I get it. Destiny 2's been out for a long time. There's been a lot of expansions, and people, like you guys are saying, Congo, I have over 9K hours in Destiny 2. It's the only game I play. So, like, you got 9,000 hours. You could have been a doctor, but, you know, you've been playing a lot of Destiny. I'm kidding. You're fine. People love games. Play whatever you want. But anyway, it's one of those, like, the people who are into this are really, really into it. Really, really into it. And so often it can be hard for newcomers to feel as though they can dip their feet in, get comfortable, and then jump in themselves. And it's something that's kind of led by the community, and specifically like the heads of the community, the influencers, the YouTubers, the streamers, to have this be a little bit more approachable. One of the things I've given a lot of credit to, like Fallout 76 for, and to Star Citizen for, is that Star Citizen and Fallout 76 have very welcoming communities. They're always excited to hear that new people are trying the game out. I have, in my experience, been welcomed to both of those communities. They've brought me in. They've helped me understand how the game functions, how it works. People have been very generous, giving me like in-game currency in Star Citizen and stuff. It's been a very, very positive experience. And same thing with Fallout 76. Very, very welcoming and understanding. And it made me feel like, okay, even though I'm not one of the day one OG players, I can still get into this if I want. Like I could figure it out. With Destiny 2, the perception is that like if you aren't already into it, it's extremely hard to get into it. Because I mean, like you just saw, like that video, my thoughts on the story. I get it. It's a video meant for his community, which is very much into Destiny 2, but it's just those things where like even something as small as looking for a breakdown of the expansion story is talked about in such a sort of nitty-gritty way that if you're not engaged in it already, there's no way to delve into it. It's one of the things like I try to tackle in these reviews or breakdowns and critiques. Like if I'm going to talk about The Witcher's story, my goal is to talk about it in a way where you can understand my critiques, even if you haven't played the game yourself, even if you haven't read the books or whatever. Like you can still understand because the points I'm making are about the broader strokes instead of the individual like pixels of detail, right? So I think all of this to say, I would personally hope that Destiny, either from the devs or the creators, can really try to start being more welcoming to newer players, because I would love to get into it, but right now it seems like it has such a huge barrier to entry that it's an animal in and of itself. And frankly, like, to me, that's a little frustrating when I only have a certain amount of time to play games for myself for fun. And so, like, in order for me to get into this game, I have to commit a lot of time to understanding it and to looking up guides and beginner guides and stuff. It's the same problem like Rainbow Six has, where the community, Rainbow Six is just kind of toxic, if I'm being real. In my experience, it's pretty toxic. If you're a new player that bounces in to try and play unranked in Rainbow, it's you'll still be treated like a leper. Like, people are horribly mean and rude to you for just trying to figure out the game. So people are like, okay, screw this, I don't want to play with those guys, and they get off the game and they try something else. And I don't think Destiny 2 players are quite that toxic. In my experience, they haven't been. But I think there's a steep learning curve, and there isn't really a concerted effort to help new players get into it, as far as I've seen. As a new player who would be interested in getting into it, I just haven't seen anything that like really pulls me to it. Siege lobbies are toxic. Yeah, I mean, I tried playing like maybe 6 months to a year ago, and God, dude, I sat there for like an hour and I was blown away. I was like, for one, I could never stream this game with team chat on. People are horrible. Horrible. It was just, oh man, I can't even just like explain it using the words and things that they said without this video getting taken down. It's bad.
Like I say in the intro, maybe you have a friend who loves Destiny and you're like, oh, what's this about? Or you're trying to get into it. I don't know. Let's talk Lightfall. This is the big...
Yeah, see, this is why I like Jake, because he's not going to just talk down to you because you don't already know what the game is about. He's going to help you kind of understand it and figure it out.
New expansion, and technically, I believe the penultimate chapter in what is apparently going to be like the end-all, be-all of a story or something. You get a good amount of stuff and big changes with it. Starting off with a full new campaign with new missions and quests and a new destination, Neomuna, the capital city of Neptune. This enough all makes it feel like a big new thing to play through. Neomuna brings a massive, cool neon city at your fingertips to go on patrol, zip around, do vendor stuff, get stuff, and kill bad guys. It's a city, so there's a lot of verticality to it, and it's really different from what we've seen in Destiny. Fall damage is reduced, so that helps, but there's also like a grappling hook, which kind of honestly just always makes things more fun in any game. I'm biased, I'm just pro grappling hook. But that does lead to the new subclass, Strand. This is kind of like a green space magic thing, kind of like reaching through the great beyond. It's another manifestation of the darkness, like stasis. All classes can take advantage of it in ways, and just kind of getting the rough introduction to it, it's really fun. The super is cool, and you have all these powerful green attacks, and Bungie did a really good job of integrating the pull grappling hook momentum into the gameplay flow. I found myself pulling off really cool stuff and just having a really good time, like yanking a dude towards me off a ledge, and as he falls, using the momentum to pull myself up in the air and then shoot more dudes.
Let me ask those of you who have played Destiny, and specifically Lightfall, would you say this footage is indicative of your time with the game so far? Is this about in line with what you've seen? The grappling hook has a 1 minute 45 second cooldown. What? That's unreal. Really, like just under 2 minutes. What? Wow. Okay. In the campaign, it has no cooldown, so you can just reuse it whenever. Why on earth would they do that? That's so weird. I mean, I guess maybe they're worried about player, like in PvP, maybe people just like spinning and cycling. I don't know. But that seems weird. I don't know. I just feel like Destiny just has too many caveats around enjoyment factor, whereas Bungie were pioneers of the fun every 30 seconds. I don't know. For me, it's just, I think getting into these always online, like games as a service type titles that are massive takes a commitment. And that commitment, like, it's the same thing with acquired tastes. Like, this is being pitched as sort of an acquired taste. Yes, there's a huge learning curve. Yes, you're going to need probably friends to play it with you to get into it. You're going to need to look up a lot of guides, figure out how to get the best loot, that type of thing. There's a lot of caveats to it. But after you get through that, you'll really like Destiny. And I'm like, okay, well, why would I do all that when I have games I already like now? You know, like, it's acquired tastes all over again. Oh yeah, this caviar tastes like you're licking the bottom of a shoe. Well, it's an acquired taste, so the more you eat it, the more you'll love it. But bear in mind, you also have to pay for it each and every time. I'm like, okay, well, I already really like barbecue sauce, so could you just give me French fries with barbecue sauce and maybe some chicken nuggies? Can we do that? Like, just do that. I'll be much happier. Like, I really don't know why they... like, that whole acquired taste thing is weird to me. It's just never made sense. Like, it's never made sense to me. It's like, oh, you don't like this thing. Well, suffer through it, and eventually you'll like it. I'm like, well, I don't need to do that. I already like something, so I'm good. Like, lay off me.
Just well-made, good shooting abilities. Not something not something you wouldn't expect at this point, really, with Destiny. And I will say, as much as I fell off Destiny hard, I respect the fact that this is a well-made, well-playing shooter mechanically. I know Destiny fans argue about how Bungie does and changes.
I mean, I'll be real. Like, looking at this coming off... Ooh, I almost made an oopsie. Ooh, that could have been bad. I almost said something I'm not allowed to say. Not anything bad, but like under embargo type of not allowed to say. Let me take a moment. Okay. Ooh, that could have been bad. I've played some games that are really like floaty and that, let's just say, don't have good combat, and or the combat's like rough and definitely needs a little bit of polishing and refinement. And what I will say is, like, this seems to be tight. It seems like they really know what they are doing. And that's what I've heard from everybody that's really into Destiny, is they're like, oh, the shooting is badass. Yeah, they're really, really on it.
Certain things, and then there are plenty of people who just don't want to play an endless live service game. But you got to admit, it can be a ton of fun in the moment. I mean, Bungie is still a legendary developer for a reason. The feedback is good, the supers are thrilling and satisfying, giving you that little power fantasy just in the nick of time. You know, the weapons are exciting, the satisfying pop.
Can you turn off the damage numbers, by the way?
When you get to headshot an enemy, it just never gets old. This is why people keep coming back, I think. The loop is satisfying, and like we said, immediately started feeling that pull after playing for like 20 minutes. We were like, oh yeah, that's right, this is fun. Lightfall is just a good reminder. And the game is harder now, technically. Lightfall has a legendary difficulty mode with dark powers to unlock if you're nasty, but Bungie also just has notched the difficulty up in general. I think this makes sense, especially for most people who've been playing a while, because, I mean, you've been playing this game for years, you're used to it, so yeah, maybe amp it up a bit. If you're coming in new, don't freak out. The game isn't, like, crushing or anything, but it is very challenging.
right from the early new campaign missions, so you do have to pay attention. Just be aware. Especially be aware of like one of the new enemy types, the Tormentor. These bastards are really cool looking with some stunning abilities, and they're mostly fun to fight because they keep you really moving, but they also have an ability where they suppress your super and they like grab you and you lose it completely, and it's really annoying. But hey, I don't know, I guess it keeps it on your toes. The overall threat is imposing. That grand scale, that epic scale from a Destiny main campaign is here. And right from the start, everyone is in peril. Because of where we're coming from, we only know like half of what's going on. There's been a lot of story, but you and Osiris end up on Neptune after a massive scale attack from Callus, the big gross baddie. But the real bad guy pulling all the strings is the Witness, who you get to see a good amount of here, and they're awesome. Whatever the hell they are, they look really cool with this really, really unique design. The stuff is very impressive.
They do look badass.
They feel imposing, like an actual big existential threat to our heroes here. But a lot of it is focused on Callus being back and crazier and attacking this city with his Shadow Legion. And not only is Neomuna cool looking, but it also introduces you to these big Cloud Strider dudes who are kind of like Silver Surfers. It's dope. I don't know. Bungie goes wild with this game and just kind of makes a bunch of cool stuff, does whatever they want, and when it hits, it hits. Now, jumping in after being dormant for a long time, we loaded up an old character and we were caught up. We were able to open the director and just jump right to the new Lightfall campaign and just had to equip some more updated stuff as soon as we got it. I know the onboarding for new players is kind of not great, but I get the game has a million things in it after tons of years. Again, not an expert, but it is worth mentioning that they redid the new player experience with Guardian ranks now. This is kind of intended to make the path of progression a bit more simplified, give you a bit of a guide, and that's whether you're new or experienced. But for people who've played here and there, I do wish there was a little bit of a better catch-up, a cleaner one. I know there are tons of Destiny community content creators and good lore videos and recaps, but sometimes I just want a good previously on type thing. There was a tiny little catch up, but only for the very recent events. But hey, it doesn't matter. Get in there and shoot bad guys and get loot, right? The game does give you plenty of goodies and new exotics and new designs and looks. And I gotta say, after so many years, there's a lot of good things to keep track of and work towards earning and ways to customize. There are like pages and pages of changes and things added to the game since the last time you may have played. So while on the surface, you're still just shooting bullet sponges with damage numbers until they pop, there's so much more under the hood and in menus and in the RPG-ness. And with Lightfall, the
RPG-ness, that's the word of the day. Can you make a 5-hour lore video on Destiny, please? Bedtime stories and practice for you. Dude, I don't know. Like, it reminds me of when what was it? Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out, and all of my college buddies in the college house we lived in were like super into Kingdom Hearts. They played it since they were kids. They were super hyped on it, super excited, and they were like, Luke, you have to play it. You have to try it too. And so I was like, okay, sure. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? So I was like, yeah, I'll pre-order it. So I pre-ordered it, and then they were like, oh, by the way, you need to catch up on the story. So here is a breakdown, like a 2-hour breakdown video to catch you up on the story. I was like, oh, okay. So I tried watching that, and it's like really weird because Mickey Mouse has like demonic powers or something, and then Goofy is a sexual predator or something. I don't even know. The story was confusing, and I couldn't bring myself to get through the 2-hour breakdown. And Destiny, I'm not saying that it's that level of, or I'm sure it's much better. I'm sure it's a much better story, but I just, again, it's the acquired taste thing. There's a barrier to entry here, and the fact that there's kind of a question of whether it will be worth it or not for the time commitment makes it really confusing for new players. My question for you guys is, as Destiny players, are they doing like, they mentioned briefly that like the next expansion will be the last one. So are they going to move on to Destiny 3 and they'll just do a new game entirely? Is that what they're going to do? I mean, surely eventually they have to do that. Not just keep it alive forever, you know? Need an engine update. Yeah, most games do. There's a barrier of entry for all MMOs. Well, absolutely. And I think that this is, to be clear, not an issue specific to Destiny 2. This is something that's present in all of these big MMO games. Some of them are certainly better at onboarding new players than others. So, I don't know. Bungie hasn't said. Okay. They might go to they might go to Destiny 3. They might try something new. Who knows? Who knows? I've always wanted to get into Destiny, just haven't had the time with all the games out there. So backlogged. Yeah. They said they're wrapping up this saga. No news on Destiny 3. Okay. Sony owns them now, so I don't think they have a bigger budget. So I think they have a bigger budget. Maybe. Who knows? Thank you, Ham. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. I all told, my understanding is that Destiny 2 Lightfall is sort of underwhelming for players who are familiar with the franchise and with all of this, because it has sort of a lackluster story. Most of the complaints I've heard are story related. I think gameplay wise it's probably pretty good, but story wise I think a lot of people have been disappointed. But for new players, I mean, I was hoping that this would be the game or the expansion to get back into it with, and it just doesn't seem like it's that, which is unfortunate. Oh, little tidbit. This is really, really funny. You want to see this? You want to see this? So you guys remember there was a story that went out like maybe last year at some point about Square Enix's CEO. And Square Enix's CEO said that they were doubling down. They were going to put all of their eggs in the NFT basket. They said they were really excited with what the future held for NFTs in video games. Just across the board, they were in like absolutely loved it, like loved the NFTs thing. Let's see, they even posted this thing, which was an art project that they launched based around NFTs. Untangle the story. Symbiogenesis, whatever the hell that means. Their whole thing, and really their plan, was to have NFTs save their business. What they said was, outgoing CEO, which we'll get to that in a moment because the CEO just got booted. He said that their plan for the future was consistent of one thing, quote, being really bullish on crypto gaming. He never missed an opportunity to talk about the exciting frontiers of NFTs. Ooh, that was weird. Stop that. The exciting frontier of NFTs and other blockchain-based digital assets. And the company currently has several projects in the pipeline that will purportedly use these NFT gimmicks to monetize players in new ways. It was a truly inspiring vision from the company, whose biggest IP is known, whose biggest IP is about the heroics of eco-terrorism. So, yeah, that makes sense. So what happened is this guy's out. Yosuke Matsuda has served as the Final Fantasy publisher's CEO for a decade and spent the last couple of those hyping up NFTs and other blockchain scams. Again, I don't know if you can call it scams. Like, I don't like NFTs. I think crypto is sort of a tax on the often financially illiterate and those who are trying to get rich quick. And it's fundamentally a system built on finding a bigger sucker to pass off your costs to so you can make money. The whole thing is just, it's slimy, but it's not always a scam. It's not always a scam. Like, I don't know if you can call somebody like, I guess it depends on how you define scam. How do you define scam? Hold on. Scams definition. What is the actual, a dishonest scheme, a fraud, a swindle? Guy that scams elderlies out of their savings. To me, it's specifically dishonest scheme. Like a scheme to get rich, I don't consider it to be a scam. It's just, I mean, it's a scheme. It might be unethical, but I don't know if it's like a scam. Like a scam is specifically dishonest. And with all of this, like with NFTs, so much of it is based around just promising you or saying, oh, if you find somebody to buy it at a higher price, you'll make more money. So again, like some of these things could be scams. Others, like if you buy a monkey picture for $1 million, like that's just stupid. I don't know if you were like lied to about that. Like you're just dumb for doing that. That's not an investment. Like you're gambling with it. So I don't know. I don't think I'd call that a scam necessarily, but there certainly are scams with crypto and scams with NFTs. But I don't know. I think it's a subset. I don't think all NFTs are scams. I think all of them are really dumb to buy and to hold, but not all of them are like being sold in dishonest ways. A lot of them are, but not every single one. Anyway, this is all kind of beside the point. The point is NFTs suck ass and nobody should buy them. As for this, he was basing pretty much the entire future of their business and company on NFTs saving the business, and it just wasn't a great look. What they said was, quote, under the rapid change of business environment surrounding the entertainment industry, the proposed change is intended to reshape the management team with the goal of adopting ever-evolving technological innovations and maximizing the creativity of the company's group in order to deliver even greater entertainment to its customers around the world. Recently, Square Enix hasn't been in a great place. Its stock price has trended down over the past 5 years, and it's struggled to find hits outside of mobile gacha games and its core franchise, Final Fantasy. Despite doubling down on the success of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the publisher recently cut loose North American studios Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal at a huge discount. And when it's not being disappointed by the sales of third-party projects like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's churning out games that don't seem to get enough time, attention, or resources to fully succeed. And that's generally true. I mean, I would just say, I think hopefully the board of directors was looking at this and was like, listen, dude, you've been failing. you've been failing. And we gotta shake it up. So I'm glad to see that this guy is going, and hopefully they can figure it out, because Square Enix has a lot of potential, but man, they just cannot get it together. And this whole scheme, this whole plan, does anybody think that this was ever going to be successful? Like, if they honestly needed NFTs to save them, they're dead at that point. I think so. It's like Ubisoft did the same thing. Ubisoft Quartz. This is their whole system that they built and reportedly spent like tens of millions of dollars on, which is all about NFTs. This whole thing. They built this out and spent tons of money on it. And it's just, you know, all of these like executives, basically crypto was exploding and all these executives were being told by techie people, oh no, NFTs are going to be the next Bitcoin. Like, it's going to be great. And how this is where it does start to get like into scam territory. What they were promised and what they were pitching a lot of the time was, if you are the first owner or the creator of an NFT that sells through a platform like Quartz, what will happen is every time it transfers, you'll get a cut as the original owner, kind of like a royalty for being the creator. So if you, like, for example, design a really cool, I don't know, camo or skin for a character, and then, or you happen to be the first person to unlock it in the game, so you hold that now, and then you sell it to somebody for $100, and then that person later sells it to another person for $100, you'll get a $5 cut of that. Because why not? And then the storefront also gets maybe a 10% cut of that because they facilitated the transaction. And then once it moves from that new buyer to another and he sells it to them for $200, you then get your $10 cut. and the store gets their cut, and the new guy gets his cut. So the whole thing is built on this pyramid scheme where you're going to continue to get payouts without having to do anything. And that's what was pitched to these executives. And they're like, that sounds awesome. We'll make so much money. And they didn't really think about it that critically because everybody was just like, oh, new Bitcoin? Yeah, we didn't take Bitcoin seriously initially, so we'll take this super seriously and pour all of our money into it. And then they forgot to ask, wait, will gamers actually like this? Is this actually going to make games better? And sure didn't. Sure didn't. Yeah, going back to the NFT scam thing. Specifically what I'm saying is if you are informed and you buy an NFT like the monkey picture and you know all the details about it, you know you'll only make money if a bigger sucker comes along, I think you're engaged in unethical behavior because you're being very irresponsible financially and you're basically gambling with it. And I think there's an argument to be made that gambling in general can be unethical at times. But that's a separate point. But specifically, if you are fully informed and you engage in NFTs and crypto stuff, like I don't think you're being scammed if you know what's going on. You might be stupid, but I don't think you're being scammed. Because in order to be scammed, you have to have been lied to. And there's a lot of people who knew exactly what they were doing and they just didn't care. And that, then they lose all their money to something like NFTs. I can't even tell you guys how often I still get emails and DMs on Twitter from people asking like, how would you like to monetize your content through NFTs? I got one the other day from a guy who's like, you should list all of your videos as NFTs and then sell those to your fans. So your fans could own the NFT for the Hogwarts Legacy critique. And then they could basically like sell that to each other and trade it as like a stock. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I get NFT DMs on my art page. I'm not famous by any means. A lot of it's bots. You can always tell because it's just like your channel name, copy and pasted. It's like, hi, Luke Stevens, all in caps, comma, new paragraph. And it's like, I really enjoyed your video. And then it's just the latest video listed and fully typed out, period. I found it really interesting. Great work on the video. Anyway, as a longtime fan, I wanted to tell you about X, Y, and Z, this NFT project. And so it's clear it's just a bot that they've created this template in. One of them was really funny. I made like a video tearing a game apart or something. Maybe it was like Evil West or something like that. But I made the video and it was not a positive video. But one of those automated messages and emails came to me and the guy was like, I'm really a big fan of that game too, man. I loved it. I'm glad to hear you like it too. Anyway, discussing this, I was like, okay, so you didn't watch the video. You're just copying and pasting stuff. Okay. Block. Block. Oh, it's a good time. I enjoy blocking spam accounts. It's a passion of mine. Truly. Let's see. I don't really want to talk about that stuff. I'll clear that out. Here, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. I'm honestly conflicted. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, you ready? In chat, I want you to tell me what you think of this. This guy said Elden Ring should have a pause button. This isn't an add an easy mode for accessibility bullshit thing. It's basic effing convenience thing. I've had people knock on my door while I'm in the middle of fighting a dragon. There's no reason not to have one. And the responses are interesting. Like, yeah, the memes of it's a literal skill issue. I think this is a troll. I don't think they're being serious. You can't pause in real life. You can't pause traffic or a sports game to check out something else. Except you can pause a sports game. I mean, you can just, if you're watching on TV, you just pause it, but whatever. And if you're answering doors so frequently, then maybe you shouldn't be playing a video game. I think this is a troll. I don't think they're being serious. Sekiro has a pause button. Case closed. Does it? I don't remember. Sekiro doesn't have multiplayer. Yeah. I mean, if that really is what it comes down to, and it's really just a matter of it having multiplayer, and they want you to be able to be invaded, so they want to make sure that you don't deal with that. Like, I don't really care. Like, just allow players to turn off the invasions, and they can still be invaded by NPCs if you really need invasions to be a thing, and then allow the game to be paused still. Like, I really don't know. I think it adds to the tension of the game, but sometimes I wish I had the pause button. I mean, absolutely. And the argument I've heard is people being like, oh, it's meant to, like, make it so in a really intense boss fight, you can't just pause and then maybe look up a guide or pause and figure out, okay, deep breaths. Okay, let's do it. They want you to stay on the edge of your seat. But, like, as a new father, having a baby or a toddler, not having a pause button is ridiculous. It's insane. It's just dumb. I don't get it. Like, I find it extremely unnecessarily annoying. And like, this whole get good idea is something that I've heard a lot of people bring up with everything, and it's frustrating because, like, when you just justify every little design choice as, well, get good, bro. I don't, like, you're not helping anybody. You're making the world way, way more dangerous than it needs to be. People against a pause button are just like this. Kinda. Like, let your baby starve. Who cares? Yeah, you can technically pause if you go into the menus and you press like 4 buttons, but I mean, let's be real. That's not really what we're asking for. Because, like, the get good attitude where it's just, oh, you have a problem with this, get good. Like, even in that Wolong review, I'm saying, listen, it's stupid to have the parry button as the same button for rolling. It's just a stupid decision. It's just dumb. But if you justify it by just being like, oh, well, get good, bro. Okay. Okay. I guess, you know, I guess you're right. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't actually help anything to just say, well, get good. Get good. And honestly, you can justify a lot of really bad design decisions by just saying, get good. So I really just don't think it's a valid excuse. I don't think so, personally. No, my mouse isn't working. Come on. There we go. That was weird. Did From Software give a reason? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I'm guessing it's because of the multiplayer thing. I can't think of another reason. But as for whether or not that's justifiable, there's ways they could fix it, for sure. There's ways they could fix it. Real quick, we should do the titular item, to-do list item. I've heard that the PC port for Wolong is whoa, it's bad. So let's see what we're looking at. Wolong. Let's see these reviews. Mostly negative. Let's see. A good game buried beneath the biggest catastrophe of a PC port I've ever seen. The game runs poorly for how it looks, but the biggest issue are the controls. Yeah, this guy brings up something similar that I brought up. Optimization for PC is poor. Wild Heart's level of optimization. The morale and parry system are really stupid. I wish they would have just made Neo 3 instead of this shit. Oh man, people popping in their Twitch streams. Of course, ads. I forgot it's Twitch. I don't know, I'm kind of intrigued. Somebody, I mean, I'll be real. It's a little, I get it. You're grinding. You're trying to get you know, your bag. You're a smaller streamer, but it is a little cringe to link your Twitch stream in your Steam review. I'm just gonna be real. Camera control with the mouse is insufferable with horrendous dead zone and weird inertia. It has to be the worst camera mouse implementation since the original Dead Space. Until they fix this issue, I won't touch the game. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Let's see. We're going to try the Xbox Game Pass PC version. Because, I mean, it's the same PC version. It's the same game. It's the same port. I just don't have to pay $60 for it. Let's see. FromSoft shouldn't need to add a pause button. Quitting the game saves your place. I guess... But, like, you really want to quit the game every time you just have to quickly, like, make sure your baby's not choking? Like, really? Is that the solution? When a button press would do it? Just do it for Sekiro. Just a button press. Boom. Pause. Easy. So, a lot of the complaints are that the mouse and keyboard implementation is really poor. Okay, I need to know from you guys. For those of you who have played like other Soulsborne games, why is it stuck on Xbox or on... What is happening? Did you see that? It's like PlayStation buttons, like triangle, but this is through Game Pass. What is happening? I don't have a PlayStation controller plugged in. Caps out screen resolution. Okay, confirm. Apply. This is really weird. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen this before on an Xbox port. This is bizarre. Mode. There's no graphical change. You can only prioritize one over the other. Really? Okay, this is already blowing my mind. This is way worse than I was expecting. Like, you can't even tweak that. It's literally just a straight shot. Controller settings, type A. Mouse enabled. Okay, this is better. It's really weird it doesn't default to Xbox in the Game Pass settings, right? Like, is that just me or is that really weird? That's weird to me. I don't know, dude. Okay. Okay, I mean... I've never seen that before. That's so weird. Huh. I've already seen this. I just want to see how it runs when we're actually playing. Randomize a little bit. I want somebody really... Oh no. Is it already crashing, dude? It can't randomize a character creator and it's already Wow. Oh, dude. This is way worse than I was expecting. Wow. Okay, this is bad. I see why they didn't want to send me a PC code now. Wow. It was too random. Exactly. It couldn't keep up with the randomness. You know what? It reminded me of hold on, maybe I can find this. Hold on. Is this it? No. No. It was the episode where Joe dresses up as a girl. And then they're pitching apps. Oh, this is it. This is what that just reminded me of. With it like not being able to generate the random character.
Random number generator. Now this is one of our favorites that we were excited about. You generate a completely random number in a matter of minutes. It takes minutes for the number to be generated. And why does it take minutes? Why does it take so long? We try not to repeat one number ever across all platforms. Why would you need a randomly generated number? Your privacy is important to us.
They're using that system in Wolong for sure. A randomly generated number in a matter of minutes. Oh, dude. Okay, let's see if we can get through the random character creator this time. Again, bear in mind, everybody, I'm running this on a 4090, okay? I'm running this on just about as good a platform as you possibly could. And we're already having crashes in the random generator. Like, dude, I had heard rumblings. People were saying, yeah, the PC version and the demo didn't run great. So, you know, maybe let's try female now. Oh, I hit finalize instead of randomize. Oh, poo. Okay, well, we'll just go into it. We'll see how this works. Okay. Oh, no.
Take this. I'm sure it will prove useful.
Bro.
It's a medicine created from refined chi. With it, you can heal.
Okay, hold on. Let's say hi to Vil real quick. That's the Vil cam. He's on his net. Let's rotate this. I want to show you this. I want to show you how much I'm moving the mouse and how it doesn't move the camera because of the dead zone, okay? Are you ready for this? Let's go here. And then I'm going to have to turn on... Hold on. Let me turn on this camera. Bloop. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look how much I'm moving this mouse. I'll start here in the middle. It doesn't move the camera at all. What? What? I've never seen that, dude. But then you can move it like this. And to be clear, it's not that the DPS is low and like it's just really insensitive, because then you'd see it moving slowly. What it is there's a massive dead zone where I can move the mouse back and forth a little bit, but it doesn't trigger it. I've never in my life seen something like that. What if I increase my DPS to like 20,000? Even then, it's a port of the joystick. It's not an actual mouse input. Wow, dude. I've never in my entire time gaming seen something like that. That's unreal. Wow. Okay. Wasn't ready for that. We're also running at 4K, prioritizing resolution. Dude, that's unbelievable. Oh. And also, attacks don't always register. That's great. Should I just give it the benefit of the doubt? Let's just accept that the mouse and keyboard is unplayable. Let me turn on the Xbox controller. We'll try that instead. Okay. I can turn off the rear cam now. Literally a skill issue. Yeah. Okay, now it's actually... Oh, and then it's... It doesn't auto-detect, dude! This is unreal. Control settings. There we go. Dude, it doesn't even detect what controller you have, so it doesn't swap. That's so bad. I'm pretty baffled by this. This is way worse than I was ready for. I had heard it was rough, but man. So like, that was even an example. So what I was saying in the review is if you hit circle or B is the parry button, but press twice quickly is the roll. But crazy attacks will come in, and so you'll be trying to dodge it or to parry it, and instead you'll just end up dodging all over the place. It's really, really dumb. Let's just push in here. I want to show you the mini boss of this area. I don't care about critical blows, I'm fine. I'm built different. Voila. Battle flag raised. I'm just gonna speed run through this. We're gonna fight the mini boss. People were saying this was on the level of polish of what did they compare it to? They said one of the recent broken games. Oh, it's over here. The performance so far, I'm not seeing like frame drops or extreme bugginess. I'm not seeing anything like that. The controls for mouse and keyboard are like laughably bad, but can we run up here? Flag post. Wild Hearts, that's what it was. Yeah, this is nowhere near as bad as Wild Hearts. The mouse and keyboard routings, yeah, but this, in terms of performance so far, this is not on that level. I'm just gonna go over here, get the flag. Speed run. Oh. Oh, I screwed that up.
Tend to your wounds while you can.
And Jesus wept. Oh, come off it. There's a little stutter there. That was mainly my bad. Wild farts. Yeah. It's too bad though, dude. Like, because Wild Hearts could have been awesome. I just want more Monster Hunter in my life. I need more Monster Hunter. Okay, let's go over here. There's a mini boss fight down there, but I want to deal with this dude first. You're doing great, dude. He's got the passion. Not really hitting targets, but
I get the feeling that
and like, to be fair, the combat itself is really solid. I like the combat in this game. It's just whether it comes together or not in a coherent package. Bring it on, dude. Trying to bait the red attacks. And wow. I don't know what happened there. I didn't feel like I was screwing that up, but I guess I need to get good. It's kind of sad because I like this style of games. I mean, I do too. And again, I think that this is a good game. I don't think it's bad. But it's just, you know, it's a solid B. And Bs can still be worth playing, to be clear. So don't think that that means that this is a never touch it again game. Animation completes, and then whack, whack, whack. There we go. My goodness. Oh, thank you. It's called what? A red eye.
a well-earned victory.
Oh, chime. A dirty chime.
I made it from home and I don't have vanilla powder. All I have is xanthan gum. So xanthan gum makes it the same consistency of a frappuccino, but it's not flavored.
No, man, I think it's good.
Sugar-free and dairy-free.
Sugar-free and dairy-free, because when I don't eat sugar-free, dairy-free, I
Love you.
turn into a pizza face. That scared me a little bit. Oh.
I know, that was fun.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Like you. So anyway, rest here. We'll rest up, and then we'll go take the boss fight on and see what that's like. I can already level up twice. That's awesome, dude. Let's do this. One wizardry spell. I will learn it. Get learned. Firebolt. Let's learn this one. We'll apply it. Set. We'll actually set this one. Voila. And let's see if we can beat this boss. I don't know if we've actually gotten a better weapon yet. Not really. So we'll just keep that. I've not gone and collected any new gear, so we're gonna kind of be doing a crash course in this. But this is the first boss. Let's see if the boss fight has any frame drops. Honestly, it's not performing badly. It's pretty solid. These cinematics are cool. I'll give them that.
Dogs of the Han Court, are you? Any who oppose us shall know only the end of our blades. I'll crush you like the vermin you are.
Oop. I will say AI companions do nothing. Oh man. I will say I definitely collected a better sword for this fight before I took it on in my main run through. So this is, I'm just like plinking away. But we're getting there. Ooh. Oh man, I keep screwing up those jumps. And then he's just throwing rocks. I'm helping!
Let our guard down, even now.
Phase 1, 0 deaths. Yeah, the AI dude does freaking nothing. And notice it drops to 30 frames during cutscenes. It's really annoying. It does that on console too.
General of men, brother of the great sage mentor. I shall not betray my brother's trust.
Hey Luke, how you liking this game destroying the bitrate of the stream? Well, exactly. So that's why I think we're going to move to regular OBS instead of Streamlabs OBS, because then I can force it to stream in P7 or encode in P7, which is going to make it so that doesn't happen. Yeah, at least, yeah, Wild Hearts dropped to like 20 frames in cutscenes. That's true. See, once you get the handle on the parrying, it's pretty manageable. And of course, he's invulnerable when I do that. Ooh. We're getting there. We're getting there. Why did the audio just drop? That was weird. First try, 0 deaths. 0 deaths. Thank We're in love and stuff. It's super gross.
Very well.
Thank you.
The village is safe. By my head. Why are you? You shall die. Eve long, every bit as strong as the rumors say.
How badass is that? I mean, I'll be real. So far, I am not seeing like major frame drops that are affecting gameplay. Like, yeah, that cutscene's dropping like 29 frames. That's not ideal. I would like to see that better. But in gameplay, I haven't noticed any major hitching. There's like 1 or 2 times maybe, but nothing major. The mouse and keyboard thing, dear God Almighty, that is actually horrible. But as for this, like actually playing the game, I think if you're playing on PC with a controller, I don't see the big issue. They definitely need more customization options. The fact that I can still only choose between like prioritize FPS or resolution, that's pretty baffling, but oh, this is the level that looks like a burnt chicken nugget. Well long. I saw people in the comments that were saying that it took them 5 hours to get to this. We just did it in like, what, 15 minutes? I'm built different, dude. I've also already played this. That's part of it. But I also didn't collect good armor, so I feel like it balances itself out. This whole level, like this is what I mean when I say that this game feels kind of like a 360 title that is like a remaster. Like look at how narrow these areas are. Look at how horrible the texture quality is. Look at the destruction. You remember back how like Dark Souls 3 had destruction? Look at this. It's like super unsatisfying. It's just, oh, look at this cutscene. We get to a cutscene right here. Maybe I have to kill these guys all first. I don't remember. I thought it kicked off right as I entered. No, I guess I have to kill him. Cutscene? There it is. This is going to set off the cutscene. Yeah. You can control it? Okay, I'll go in there. I'll mess with it.
It's Zhao Yun! Run for your lives! The corporal, he's been... Enough. You're badly wounded. Back to camp. Go.
Yeah, there is weird like flickering.
Forgive my
I don't know what that
rudeness,
is.
A malicious soldier, are you? If so, would you kindly lend your courage to me?
And then slowly zoom in on a blank face.
I lead the forces of General Gongsun. My name is Zhao Yun. The Yellow Turbans have control of Mount Gongsun. You don't look short of confidence, but surely it would be reassuring to have
Sure
an ally
don't,
at your side.
because I'm built different. Okay, graphic settings. Oh wait, I can tab over. Oh, okay, I'm dumb. Okay, high quality. Oh, this is weird. High is to the left, not the right. Okay, that's just a weird eccentricity. Shadow render resolution, standard or close. Okay, I guess standard. Standard's probably better than close, right? Ambient occlusion, higher quality shadows, yeah. Screen space reflection, enabled, standard, line of distance, volumetric fog, clouds, motion blur. Okay. So that's better. I still think it looks really bad. Look at this wall right above my head as I walk forward. Okay, you ready? Look at the shadows load in. And this is cranked. Look at the shadow quality change too as I get closer. That's not even close, dude. And this is on the best settings.
Don't get careless.
I'm getting careless. Wow. So, to be clear, I mean, I think based on what I'm seeing, you should probably play this on console if you're gonna play it.
You must hit back. I will
Bro. Yeah. Games are evolving backwards. Devolving. Yeah. Ambient occlusion was causing flicker for you? Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's like, oh, did you see that? Yeah, like that. It's like in Wild Hearts, all of the like horrible grainy effects on, yeah, there it goes again. All of that was because of the motion blur. And so just turning off motion blur fixed all of those graphical problems for Wild Hearts. It still ran like ass, but it made it much more manageable. But I mean, I'll be real. There's a lot of game here. There's side missions. There's all sorts of stuff to do, and a lot of it's pretty fun. I had a really good time, and honestly, I'll probably keep playing more of Wolong. I'll probably be trying co-op with like Caleb. I'll be trying a lot more. And I like the game. It's good. It's not great, and it has a handful of problems, but what is here is honestly pretty fun. And as long as you're willing to put up with an okay game, I think you can have a lot of fun with it. Oops. I don't want to shoot him. I'm not even going to equip the bow. I'm not even going to do it. You can't make me. Can I run around here? Sure can. Oh, he's level 6. I'm not scared. Grab that. Oh, got stuck on some wood. Classic Luke. Am I right? Classic Luke. You also can't push enemies off ledges, which kind of annoys me, but I'll get over it. One day. One day. I don't even care. I don't care. I don't care. I've been here, done that, as it were. Oh, and that's not a solid surface. Love that. Let's see. Have you played with any settings on this game? I mean, my thing is that performance is a little bit all over the place. The quality of textures is really, really poor. I mean, look at these rocks in front of me. Like, if I don't think I even need to explain it. Like, I mean, just look at that. And then the weird flicker, which is probably ambient occlusion, glitching out, which is, you know, it's whatever, that happens. But the mouse and keyboard controls being that horrible, that's just straight up unexplainable and or inexcusable. They I don't know how you justify that. It's really, really, really bad. I will give them credit. The characters and the NPCs like follow you around a lot more. The game also, though, it auto locks on, which gets really annoying because you won't want to lock onto a character because you're trying to just run, and it'll be like, no, you're gonna lock on. You're gonna stare at them. You're gonna deal with it, and I kind of find it super annoying. Anyway, who plays these games with mouse and keyboard? Okay, I want to hear in chat, how many of you guys are playing these games on mouse and keyboard? Like, real talk. Because I've never played these games with mouse and keyboard. I don't know if I would. I don't know. For me, these are controller games, strictly. But maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I'm missing out. Is there one in there? No, it doesn't look like it. Up there. Mauer, thank you for the 30 shekels. I think some people just need to understand that some games will never be perfect, and sometimes an okay game can be fun. I'm feeling that way about Hogwarts Legacy as a Harry Potter fan. Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that B can still be worth playing. I think a C game can be worth playing. Not every game has to be this like masterful, genre-defying, awe-inspiring masterpiece. Like, you can have games that are okay and still a good time. Run, 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 run. Can't. Ooh, lordy. Oop, I got. I work on mouse and keyboard all day, so I don't want to play with it. Yeah, exactly. Mouse and keyboard all the way. Trone, really? I love PC, but there's some games that require controllers. This is one of them. I do Elden Ring and plenty of others on mouse and keyboard. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I could see the extra control being nice, but I don't know. Is everyone's res stuck? No, I was able to crank it, but it's weird because you'll go in here, graphic settings, and then it'll have the render resolution, then it has the screen resolution is different, so you have to tweak that. Texture quality, this is high quality. What does low quality look like? If that's what high looks like, it looks no different. Maybe you have to reload, or maybe it is already on low quality. I don't know, man. Koei Tecmo just needs to figure out these PC ports, because this is like 2 games in a row within a few weeks that just have horrible. Check what resolution your game is at. I mean, mine was set to, I set it manually on the main menu screen to 4K. And I could see the difference. I mean, once I changed it, I could tell. If we back out here, like that's 4K. If I go settings, graphics, I can change screen resolution to 4K, and then it works fine. And before that, it defaulted to 1080p, which I could really tell the difference of. It was way blurrier. Oh yeah, Phil, the Superman thing. I think we saw that actually. The Unreal Engine 5. I think we reacted to that a while ago. Yeah, it's really weird. I beat Devil May Cry 2014 on mouse and keyboard, and to put it bluntly, never again. It was awful and literally damaged my hand. Yeah, I prefer controllers for these. I mean, I'll be real. Overall thoughts on the PC port, I think it's not the worst we've seen. That Wild Hearts port was way worse. That was straight up unplayable. I think you could play this on mouse or on PC. You can't play it on mouse and keyboard. Don't even try. But on PC, I'm seeing like workable performance, though the performance is not where it should be considering my hardware. In general, definitely needs some work. Oh, they don't support 1440p? Of course they don't, because that would be nice. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Real quick, everybody, by the way, before we wrap up, I want to toss this out to you guys. We'll also announce this Monday before it goes public to everybody on the main channel. Okay, so this is a little bitty sneak peek for you guys. Okay, so listen up. This is something super secret and super special. Not super secret after this stream, but you guys are getting first dibs if you want them. Okay? What's he talking about? This is so weird. Exclusive, okay? Because once these are gone, they're gone. Just real talk, okay? We're going to have to manually package these and send them off by hand up at our kitchen table. So this is going to be like a very hands-on thing, and there's going to be a lot of stuff involved, okay? So that being said, if you have been on the stream for a little while, you know that we have some memes and stuff that we do, like, you know, the I'm vibing, which is based off of Tammy Slayton. I'm vibing, Tammy, which basically is a clip from this episode of 1,000 Pound Sisters where Tammy Slayton, right here, I'm vibing, wearing the tiara and everything. So that's what we based off of, and it's a meme now, right? So what we did is I asked Nikki's sister, who's a phenomenal artist, to help us throw together some designs and to draw some stuff up. We also, another like kind of jokey meme we've had is Babe and Baby. Every time Nikki and Lockie come in to the studio, it's Babe and Baby. That's the segment of the stream. And then you guys also know I have 3 pets. Villain Trentonmirth, my bearded dragon right over here, who you guys saw earlier in the stream. Hermione, my black cat, who is constantly getting stuck on sticky mouse traps and spider traps and stuff. And Finley, who, because he's got like a scar on his cornea on his left eye, he can't see out of it straight, so he has horrible depth perception and always gets into trouble as a result. So, Nikki's sister drew some stuff up, did some great work, and has designed for us some custom, very, very limited edition stickers for us to distribute, which is really freaking cool. And I think they turned out great. First and foremost, we have the Luke Stevens. Oh, I scrolled too much. Hold on. There we go. I'm vibing sticker. And this one, I actually have them. They're still wrapped. They're still wrapped. The I'm vibing stickers, fully printed. All of these, they're just, oh, they turned out great. These are rated for, you know, use on water bottles, on your laptop, whatever you want to do. So we have the I'm vibing. We also have, hold on, let me move to the next one. The other design, like I said, we have the Babe and Baby design. And for Babe and Baby, we threw together this, which is Nikki and Lockie together, Babe and Baby. Lockie's in the carrier with his sunglasses, which he loves to wear, and his little toy gun, squirt gun with the plunger on it. Nikki with her glasses on, looking all badass with her gun and everything. Babe and baby. Kind of a Charlie's Angel kind of thing. These also turned out really, really, really stinking good as well. Right there. Manageable size. Super cool. And for the pets, you guys know that these guys, birds of a feather flock together. We also designed this with Finley sticking his head under the water spout because he has bad depth perception, something he does daily. He's constantly just drowning himself in the water because he can't see too very good. Hermione catching the mouse. I've told you guys the story about her catching a mouse and bringing it into me, and then waiting to kill it until I came out and saw that she had the mouse. So we did this little design of her also with all sorts of mouse traps, but she did it. And then Vil, meow, my bearded dragon, chilling right there. And all of these also turned out really, really, really good. Hermione, we're going to sell these in a little pack because they're a little smaller. So you can get all of them for $7 instead of pricing them individually. Vil is nice and cute. Meow. And Finley being super cute. So you can put these wherever you want. So currently we have these three. The promise I will make to you guys is that also... Hold on. If I can get it. Ooh, I can't get it from there. Hold on. Right, I just pulled something. Oh, that was bad. My commitment to you guys is if you are one of the people that buys all of the stickers and you get all three of these kits, you get the I'm Vibin', the Baby and Baby, and the Animal pack. I'll toss in one of these signed Just Wow stickers. I don't have many of them, so once they're gone, they're gone. So, you know, it's first come, first serve for those. But I will make that commitment to you. If you order all of them, I will toss those in for free, as long as I have them. And I also have a few of these old ones of Khaleesi, my first bearded dragon from way back in the day. Where be the coal one? Work in progress. Work in progress. Stay tuned. Yeah, so if you are willing to tackle that, you can get a signed Just Wow sticker as well. All of these, like I said, we have about 250 of each. Once they're gone, they're gone. So, it again, first come, first serve. If you are the 251st person to order, it's just, I mean, sucks to suck. There's, you know, you just can't do anything. Where you can get these is at LukeStevensTV.com. So, maybe I should type it in. www.lukestevens.tv.com. Like I said, of course it doesn't hard link it. Hold on, let me fix it. Hold on. 16 times the detail. So we have another round that we'll be doing after this of different designs. So the coal, peace be upon him, the 16 times the detail, that stuff we will be adding. We're just starting small because, again, these I have here. When you order it, I have to then pack it up by hand, so it's not like an automated thing. I don't want to get too overwhelmed with like 2,000 orders that I have to manually pack up. So we're starting easy with 250. But yeah, hand stuff one. I want to do a hand stuff one too. I think that'd be funny. So we're gonna start easy, handle this, and once it's done, it's done. And we ship internationally, by the way. So because we're shipping them in envelopes, it's just like, it's like what, $1? I think it's $1.63 to ship it to you anywhere in the world. And we're gonna pack it with card stock to make sure that it's safe and sound and secure. So it's gonna be really, really good. So don't worry, it's we're keeping you international folks in mind as well. But if you want it, first come, first serve, definitely tackle those. Again, I'll put the Just Wow sticker in all of them if you order all three of these. I will throw in a Just WoW sticker just to be nice. Okay, so, but only while supplies last, because once those are gone, they're gone. And I don't think I'm going to be printing any more of those. So check it out. Again, LukeStevensTV.com. LukeStevensTV.com. You can get this, and then also like the 16 times the detail stuff, the shirts that you've seen me wear in videos, the Just WoW shirt down here, all sorts of cool stuff. But these stickers, brand new, hand-packed by me, and honestly, Nikki will probably help me as well. So that'll be awesome. Oh, first, boom, look at that. Danielle and Steva already placing orders. You guys are awesome. Get on it, guys. Get on it. Because this is going to get announced in one of the videos that, you know, does 100, 200,000 views. So these will all go. It's just a matter of when. And I'd rather you guys who hang out with me in these live streams get it before anybody else gets it, right? So that's what I would say. But if you want it, LukeStevensTV.com. Okay? LukeStevensTV.com. As for all of this, like I said, we were up very, very late last night getting this Wolong review done and ready. So I will be jumping over to nap time. I'm going to force myself to go to the gym, and then I'm going to go to nap time. So I'm going to tackle that. I just want to say thank you all for being wonderful and for chilling with me. I love you all. You're fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you. I will be back on Monday with a new video that is quite interesting and exciting, one that I didn't anticipate making, but I'm very excited to cover it. I will stop being overly cryptic. I just can't talk too much about it. But it's the first of a handful of kind of exclusive early access things that hopefully will continue to happen through the rest of this year. So we'll talk more about that later. But I'll see you Monday. Much love, everybody. Stay safe over the weekend. Have a lovely weekend, nice and relaxing. Again, if you want these stickers before they're gone, LukeStevensTV.com. Just jump on it. They're as reasonably cheap as we could manage for the surprisingly expensive cost of printing custom stickers in high quality in lower volumes. So we're trying to be affordable, but I get it. Even if you don't order them, thank you for watching and chilling with me. I love every single one of you more than you possibly know. Hugs and kisses. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.